Is this okay? Cool. Right. Let's get into it. Sorry, Flyquest versus PSG. This is game 1.
Yeah, the draft is making me eager, and now I'm more like.
Normally, I'm gonna turn volume off actually, because I'm just gonna get distracted by it. I just thinking about it. Right. Oh wait. Wait, is that actually? Did I just press the wrong button? I think I just pressed the wrong button. Yeah, I did. Oopsies. Cool. So this is the start of the draft. So, big things are, what do we know about PSG? Very, very good about playing through mid-jungle agency. Kind of using that to kind of like be big playmakers, accelerate the threat of the game, and then also be big flanking threats in team fights too. So removing the Vi, removing the Ahri is kind of like a big part of like denying that threat. On the other side, I think Aja wants to have a strong laning phase. So removing the Renekton, which is kind of like a good evergreen, I'm just going to do well in lane, particularly for Bwipo, who's very good on bruiser type champions, which just have strong laning phase. It means that Aja can play towards the strength as well. That tends to be a big way of how he plays. Let's speed the VOD up. We'll go in 2 times. We've got a lot of games to get through. We've got 3 in this one and 2 in the next one, so we've got 5 to go through total. Because the Kalista is banned, we had a trifecta of champions kind of coming into this tournament which were really strong. We had the Kalista, in terms of laning phase anyway. Kalista, Varus, and Lucian are the 3 which are really, really strong like that. And we know that Maso and Busia do actually play Lucian Nami as well. So the question is, do they lock towards the Lucian Nami again? No, they go towards the Varus. Varus opens up Senna. You can go towards Senna Tahm Kench. Particularly with Varus off the table, that's very powerful, because typically Senna is very good, but Varus is such a good tank killer, even in the early game. If you lock in a tank alongside the Senna, then the Varus tends to win against the Senna anyway. So now you think that maybe you have to lock in the Senna yourself, because Senna Nautilus would be very, very strong, and you wouldn't have the Varus to answer it at that point. So they lock in the Senna Tahm Kench themselves after seeing that Varus. So what do you want a bot lane for Masu? You need something that can kill tanks, hopefully. Killing tanks would be nice. Then the question is what you go towards it, right? And they lock in the Jinx. So the Jinx is this saying like, look, they won't. So this is not about laning phase. This is more about having just very consistent team fights later. Very consistent team fights now, actually. So they lock in 2 things. I'm going to pause it now quickly to talk about some stuff. Because the Nautilus is going to hit one target really, really hard. And even if they get devoured now, the follow-up is really strong. So if you land a hook and the devour comes through, you actually don't mind throwing out the Tahm Kench ult, because then that goes forward into the flick back from Talia, and then also potential of a Jinx reset. So your single target first hit is really, really nasty. So PSG, maybe they can think about that they'd like to have something which can either survive that first combo or beat them to the punch. You already have the Senna with the Q and the ult, which can help with that. You might also look for like double long range backline as well. I mean, I would argue that because you have 2 very squishy backliners, Maple is very good at Nico. You could actually go Nico into this. I think Nico would be very strong because it's one of his strongest champions. And that typically works into how PSG want to play as well. You could go for like the Nico and then look for an engaged champion later for Junjie. But they go for the long range instead. They go for the easier. Because Azir is very good at killing the first target as well. It's quite hard to reach him. He can shuffle out of the play as well. It's quite hard for Nautilus to get like good damage onto him. Hard to kind of force him into a bad position because he can reposition himself. Ah yeah, and removing Inspired's kind of Viego, which is a very good team fighting champion, but also very good at just kind of farming up and becoming a secondary champion. Carry, that works well. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. Ugh. Hay fever's hitting me, folks. It's hitting me. Okay, right. Then I get the Poppy, which stops. Oh, Poppy's really good with Poppy Talia kind of comp, because you can kind of ping people onto the Talia wall. That's another thing too. We're seeing this a lot this tournament, but we saw this a lot in playoffs too. Having the Talia to kind of like put a wall up somewhere to kind of force out flashes or force out the shuffle and kind of corral people into Nautilus hooks. That's a very powerful combination we're seeing. Talia is a very powerful mid laner right now. Thank you, Tag. Thanks for the bless you. Appreciate it. Oh, this is a really good ban. This is a really, really good ban. Not only is this a Junjie special, Wukong is very, very good at surviving the first pick because he W's backward and his clone will tank the hook. And then if you really feel like it too, you can just pop your ult as well and kind of stop a lot of the follow-up coming through. Or when someone else is picked, you immediately jump on the backline and just start cycloning them so they can't complete their combo. That would be bad, Ginger. Kha'Zix would be very bad here. It would get bug splattered. Okay, look at the rumble. So it's a blind pick rumble. Very good again at just kind of like hitting the back line. In the same, actually, this is a little bit different, right? You know, we talked about that logic of when someone's picked, the Wukong kind of flies in and interrupts the combo. Kind of do the same with disengage rumble ultimates. It's the one long range tool they have. Well, they have that and they have the center ult. So now you have double like line, can be line skill shots. Depends how you organize the equalizer. But you can have the rumble kind of throw the ult at particularly these two and kind of slow them down and stop them being able to reposition. If they're slowed, they can't get in a position to follow up for the combo a lot and they take a lot of damage too. Fly lock in, big front line at the end of this, and they lock in the Urgot. So they don't have the double reset of the Viego from the jungle, but they do have, it's not reset, but they have first kill value, where if you get the ult from Urgot on someone, Urgot gets to just mash the backline. Although he's not that tanky to Senna Azir. Like, these two actually do a really good job at kind of holding him to account, because he can't necessarily get on top of them, like, consistently. Would I have gone for that? You could have gone for Maokai, and with Maokai, you have a better tank, who can then just kind of throw long-range non-committal ults, and you would have had, like, Maokai Rumble. Of course, Jarvan Rumble is a fantastic combo in itself. My problem here is Jarvan is not tanky. There's a lot of good lockup. You have Sejuani ult into... Sejuani or Hook. Oops, that's really bad. You have Sejuani... Hello, flying across my screen. Sejuani, Nautilus. And then that goes into the CC from Talia. You have the Urgot ult. You have Jinx getting resets. God, those boxes are awful, man. But basically, you have a squishy champion that's relying now on very good devours. Tahm Kench is actually the only tank in this composition. Jarvan doesn't really count. He's not tanky enough. Farming Tahm Kench can be. So you have a point where Tahm Kench becomes a viable first top. Hang on a second. To me, this looks like him. Let me just measure this out. That is Tahm Kench's champion slice. Is it me, or is Tahm Kench... I thought that the champion boxes were different widths there. I was wondering if the overlay was a little bit weird at that point. But I think that Tahm Kench is now a viable first target for Flyquest. Where, like, you throw out one hook to buy the Devour, but then the Devour puts Woody so out of position that he's the first target killed. And then, at that point, you know, you have Jinx, who's very long range. Not uncontested long range, because, of course, like, you've got Senna Azir. The bonus here is that you do have, of course, Jarvan Rumble into two relatively low mobility champions. If they don't have flash, they're in a lot of trouble. But yeah, so I think Flyquest, if they get the first kill, it's very good. They have lots of targets they can pick for the first kill. Tahm Kench is never going to be tanky enough to survive that combo. But PSG do have a lot better ways onto the backline. If you have like a cleanse, or a Mikhail's or whatever, I guess you're not going to get Mikhail's for Tahm Kench. But you have the Devour. If you position well and the Devour is used well, killing the first target from Flyquest can be okay, but getting towards like the backline can be a bit difficult, actually. Can be a bit difficult. So a lot of this game is going to be about how teamfight execution comes down to it. Whether Flyquest can actually hit the targets they need to in time. Can they get resets? Can they get a free first kill for Jinx to kind of take over stuff? While all that's happening, you know, I mean, Azir versus Talia is a bit of a wash in terms of priority. Jinx, Senna, Tahm Kench, also a bit of a wash thinking about it. Senna, Tahm Kench is actually better in lane than a lot of people give it credit for. Okay, let's it's the wrong thing. There we go. Cool. We shall become small once more. Hey, I have a tip jar in front of my face. This is where all my, like... If you do a subscription, it gets dropped into the tip jar. It's one of my favorite little things. Okay. Give me the overlay. Small mirror. That's me. I'm so small right now. He says, being quite big actually in this case. You know, I could make myself smaller, but I feel like being big today. I will be the big man. And because we don't have to pay attention to the hotbar, we can actually like look at the because we can look at the souls here. It doesn't matter as much. Okay, anything big here? Ah, we have a lane swap. Yeah. How do they scout out this lane swap? How do they set up for this? So, right from level 1, Jinx is under top lane turret. They put a ward in this top brush to make sure that no one was scouting them out. The thing is, Jinx, Nautilus is a good level 1. And Jarvan doesn't have a level 1 really. His flag doesn't really help you in level 1. So that means that you can't... So one of the ways that you can scout out a lane swap, say if you had the Nautilus here, if you had to send a Nautilus, you could walk in as like a 2-3 man unit here. Or if you look on the minimap, you could go like down here as well. You could brute force wards down here. Now, typically the lane swap wards you put would actually be... The ones you'd love to do is just ones just outside outer turrets. Or like just down here to spot when people are moving through... moving to certain lanes, right, very early on. So you can have enough time to respond to them and then kind of match lanes or swap lanes if you want. But because they don't have a strong level 1, you know, Rumble's level 1's not awesome. Tahm Kench Senna's okay. Senna Tahm Kench is okay. Jarvan's not great though. And you're against the Nautilus and Jinx, which are actually pretty strong at level 1. Which means that Flyquest get to kind of uncontested look for the lane swap, and PSG can't really brute force vision to see it coming. So they're going for a lane swap. Jinx is pretty good in... actually, hang on. Did we see runes before this? I think we did see runes, right? Did we see a demolish on Jinx? Did we get runes coming up? I should check that now, actually. Show me the runes. Show me them. Oh, God. I'm tired. Come on, show me runes. Because I want to see if we have demolish on Jinx. Did they show us yet? Should be now, actually. No demolish. Demolish on Nautilus, not on Tahm Kench. So they have the demolish diff. There's no demolish on PSG's bot lane. Okay, alright. So that means that even though... Also, like, by the way, can we just talk about... Why is everything in all caps? Why is everything in all caps? That just looks so weird to me. I don't know about that, man. I don't know. And of course we said that PSG couldn't brute force vision at level 1. Flyquest went up with Jensen to put one down, which means that Aja's been spotted out really early. By the way, his name, as far as I'm aware, is Aja. It's not Azure, it's not Ashi, or Aji. It's Aja. It's like an not an Aja, I believe. That's how I've heard it pronounced. In case people are wondering about pronunciation of Aja. I know it's a bit weird because you've got like different people come from different languages trying to pronounce people's names differently, even though this might be pronounced differently if it was an English player or an American player or whatever. It's different because they're from the PCS. Okay, so Maple's doing okay in terms of just... I mean, so Jensen pushed up to put the ward down. If he had over-pushed and then Azure come in out of vision, that would have been pretty big, right? But of course, that's not the case. He's now also in a lane swap with Ignite, which sucks. But the bonus is you do have the teleport on Tahm Kench if you do need another teleport. So you're running with two teleports, they're just not on top lane, which is a bit awkward. Okay, so now you're moving down for dive potential. 4-manning bot. Arj is level 1 but has Ignite and has E, which means you give some magic resist shred. Is there any significant magic damage? No, not really. Not at this point. And plus the magic shred doesn't really mean that much. Bwipo's got to level 2, so you're not diving at level 1. Arj is not staying alone under top turret. Makes sense. Rumble is a very easily diveable target. But because you see Arja moving from top to bot, this is the thing about how Flyquest responded to this. You saw him moving from top to bot. I mean, you know he's going to end up in bot lane. As soon as he shows on mid lane, and actually as soon as you see him moving away from top lane on this ward, Inspired knew to kind of like hover bot side for this timing. So for the first big wave crash of the game, Inspired needs to be here. And he's level 3. So he's level 3 Sejuani, so very strong fighting potential. Still 4v1. It's level 2, level 3, pretty high level. I'm actually kind of worried for this dive now. Let's see how that gets played. Who do you want tanking aggro? Woody, presumably. You don't have... I mean, you've got combo, but... Fly drag combo. Woody takes a bit of aggro. Yeah. Inspired. Good pathing from Inspired. But this is cool too. So now what you can do is have Woody go collect the crashed wave on top side, because there's no dive threat on top side, really. He's level 3, so he's fine. They use the Aftershock to get some damage, and they use the shield, but he's still losing, you know, a decent amount of his HP. So you can't punish that hard. Taking an extra tower shot there kind of sucks. You can't really individually threaten him now. He's gone for dematerializers. That means he can actually help clear out some of the wave too, which is nice. There is some threat to be zoned off of the wave, actually, when you're playing like melee supports like that. But Inspired, really good early pathing from him. Really good early pathing. The early ward from Jensen allows Inspired to be there on bot side. So it's a team effort. The level 1 was good from Flyquest. They initiated the lane swap. They gave themselves enough information to give themselves enough to play with for the next phase of it too. I noticed top esports and T1 have no reaction when they win the series, just another day on the job. Sometimes they don't even have reactions even for big series too. They're just stone cold killers. Okay, what's happening here? Was John just spotted heading from bot to top? No, he wasn't, but they know from, I guess... How do they know that? I guess they just know he would have been on bot side anyway. Inspired is leaving his top side camps again. Wow, this is... So Inspired could have cleared through top side, right? He could have gone blah, 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 cleared through here. But he's afraid of the next wave crash again because there's no vision on bot side for them. So he wants to protect Bwipo again. Inspired is doing a great job, as well as Jensen. Jensen's pushing up in mid lane, like it's a multi-part thing. Jensen's pushing up in mid lane, which means that it's hard for Maple to get out and kind of give vision to, to his team. He can't put his trinket down anywhere useful. And there's also a chance that he can draw Junger's attention too. But then Inspired just says, fuck it, I don't need individual farm. I mean, is this the Inspired I knew and loved from EU? Who knows? But like, he's then hovering bot side to say, look, I can like go towards bot scuttle if I need to, but like he's there just to make sure that he can be around to protect Bwipo on the dive. Bwipo's actually backed off from the turret because he doesn't know if enemy jungler's going to be there. Because Inspired spots through Tribrush, he knows he's completely fine now. Ours is only level 2. But yeah, I mean, nothing ends up happening for this, but Bwipo, like, being shadowed by Inspired is really important here. That's really well played from Inspired. We'll speed it up again. There's no real threat on top side either. It's not even like Junger could really, like... I don't think Junger and Woody can 2v2 top side against the Jinx Nautilus. However, one bonus of being in the 2v1 lane, and this will become very apparent later. You get very easy stacks for Senna. Now, this used to happen. LPL would do this a lot earlier in spring, where you would get level 3, level 4 on your lane partner and then move top lane to do the same thing for like volatile top lane matchups, where if you had like, I don't know, Gnar versus Fiora or some shit like that. Or like both of them are kind of like looking to play our early lane very differently. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Truck. I really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. No, I hope I get a shot at Worlds too. It'd be really nice to get myself, because I've never been to an international event. And it's in Europe as well, so maybe there's a chance that'll help because geographically I'm closer. Okay, what's happening here? Sorry, I was distracted by things. So we saw, what did we see? There's actually some important stuff. So we saw Senna stacking up down here. That's cool. So Bwipo gets to level 4. He gets his first base of the game in. And then he goes top side, I think. So he clears out another wave, just knows that he's safe. He needs to be a little bit afraid of, like, being jumped on. I would like to see the minimap, please. Jensen keeping up pressure in mid. It's completely fine. He's doing a good job. And he's continually keeping this one ward down on Raptors as well. It's a really important ward to keep there on Raptors, because the way this falls apart is you lose vision, like, in this quadrant. Because you can see right here, they have, like, really well... jungle entrances are well covered. There's one route through here, flag dragging over the wall, and then maybe going into enemy side of the map from there. But on the whole, you know, Flyquest have done a really good job by pushing mid, leaving vision, and then Inspired protecting the other side of the map to allow like his lanes to survive early. And now that what they've actually managed to do is switch over towards top side, and now suddenly Urgot has switched back towards top side. And has like a safe side of the map to play on. Like he's got enough vision to play safely. And while all this has happened as well, the big victory for Flyquest that Aja on Rumble does not have a lot of XP or gold. He's gone for Swifties, which is not good early damage either. PSG chose to keep up the lane swap though. Very interesting. What did they know? Did they know that by... What did they know? So they know that top lane's backing off. They know the bot lane's backing off. Dragons alive. Krugs gets spawned soon as well. When do they first know? So they don't know at this point. So maybe they assume that Maso and Busio are going to stay on top side. I don't... Because what lanes do they want? Do they want the Rumble versus the Urgot? Not with level 5 to level 3, I don't think. But then it doesn't get much better in the 1v2 either. So I'm just getting solo XP again. Well, he's not even getting solo XP. Because of this, as soon as they see the Urgot topside, which they were seeing a little bit before this, they know that he can't walk in bot side, especially against the Nautilus. I think they dive him 2v1 if he stays under turret, especially at level 3. He has flash, but he would die. So that's kind of bad. I don't get what these lane assignments are from PSG, actually. I think that these are quite poor from PSG. But I think Flyquest has forced them into it, so it's a bit of both, right? I think Flyquest have secured themselves good early lanes. But what I think this is a bit of a desperation play for PSG, because they know that Aja can't go towards bot side, so they need to make a play. If Maple gets this, if he manages to hands check Jensen a little quicker, and he doesn't react quick enough with the minefield here, then he doesn't get stunned, and he gets like a, he'll get kind of shunted back into Junjo, which would be obviously very dangerous. But Busio is really quick on the roam. When does Busio start roaming? Well, we don't get to see, because the minimap's covered. Oh, we see it like right now. Okay, so I think as soon as the vision plant's down there and you see Junjo and River, yeah, Busio, like, he's never going to be afraid of, like, Aja kind of walking up, walking down into turrets, so that's fine. That's fine in terms of, like, what bot lane's doing, because I was wondering maybe there could be a chance. Typically, if you leave an AD carry alone in a lane, you need to know that they'll be safe, but in this case, they are. It means that he can walk up and deny a play here. Good from Flyquest to deny PSG a chance to kind of get some extra golden pocket. Okay, now Aja is alone on the bot. No, he wasn't alone, actually. Junjo was there with flash combo, so that's fine. While this is happening, Betty is still just he just keeps tapping Bwipo for souls, though, which is a bit of an issue. Every time his soul's on off cooldown on Bwipo, he's just double tapping him for it. It's really easy for him to just keep getting souls. Senna in 2v1 lanes doesn't kill towers quickly, but she does get a lot of souls from hitting the enemy champion quite a lot. Good roam though from Busio. Woody's also getting a lot of solar plates there, that's nice. Takes this plate alone so the resists don't go up as well. Not that it matters, they're not hitting it for it. Well, no, they are hitting it a little bit well after that. Nah, whatever. Much of a muchness. However, Bwipo is still getting a lot of XP compared to Aja, which is nice. He's also getting some gold now, even though his farm numbers are down. We're switching lanes again. This is an extended lane swap. But while all this is happening, I mean, by the way, if you can ever get a ward like here or here to spot people walking back to lane, it makes your life so much easier. Back in season 4, this is so funny. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna quickly pause this because I want this is really funny. This is really funny. So, let me turn this off. I've got a story time to say. Okay, folks, you ready for story time? Because this is a story time. Back in season 4, 2014, long time ago now, 10 years ago. So it's a bit out of the recent memory from a lot of people. Lane swaps were meta, and they were particularly meta within Korean League of Legends. So this was when OGN was top of the world, season 4. Arguably the strongest region in regards to like its counterparts that we've ever seen in League. It was a real prestigious kind of era to be in OGN at that point. And what this meant was that this was the start of the time where everyone started copying the Koreans. We do this a lot now, and it happened a lot in the years to come after that point. But at this point, it was you had the EU LCS teams and the NA LCS teams. They would just be like, "Oh, let's go watch the Korean VODs and see if we can learn from them and see what they're doing." And they noticed that at level 1, they would always put wards in very specific places. In fact, I'll switch back to the other screen very briefly for this. So there was a ward that you would put down. If you watch them on the minimap, there was one they put right here. This was before base gates were a thing too. They'd always put one ward there, and they'd put like one ward here. And what that meant was you could spot when people were walking back to lane. But there was a really funny moment. I can't remember which game it was, but there was a team that literally died at level 1 Like, there was a team that died at level 1 to put those wards down because those were the Korean wards. They win you the game, those wards. But they didn't really know why you would put those wards down, but they just knew you needed those wards. So this is one of those things where, like, thinking back to that period of time and thinking back to now, I wonder whether we're going to have this situation again where people are just like, but we need these wards for lane swaps. This is how it happens. It's just like one of those funny stories I remember back then where everyone copies the best teams in the world, but they don't always know why. So, yeah.
Yeah, how's it going? I was going to ask you if you want a cup of tea or something.
I have a coffee. I was going to a story time.
We did see some interesting lane ward adaptations for lane swaps in the Mere Masters, with the one near base gates and entrance to allow an Udyr to proxy farm and like really screw over the level 1, which was... It didn't work out because it was Udyr, but it was a cool idea, right? A lot of those kind of thought processes.
Yeah, but that was like one of my favourite moments, that one.
But you're sorted for drinks, basically.
I am, thank you.
Would you like a glass of water in here?
Actually, if you could just rinse this out and solve it up, thank you. The water's been in there for a little while. Okay, hang on. So let me go back. I got lost in story time, so I lost some stuff. I lost in the source briefly. So we once again have... So Flyquest want to keep up the lane swap, and I think the reason for it is that they want to keep this Rumble down. Because I think Rumble, if Rumble is very strong and you have Rumble Jarvan at really, really high like levels of damage, then I think that Jensen and Maso have a much harder time. Negative here is that Senna gets really strong too, and there's no real easy way to get on top of the Senna, so that's one thing. But then I think you're just hoping that with Senna versus Jinx, you can outvalue with the Jinx in some situations. If Rumble is really far ahead, it's quite hard to contest Rumble at his kind of play pattern. So we have... Thank you, appreciate it.
Sorry, it's a little bit damp, but I think
happens. But yeah, I think on the whole... yeah, but like... Flyquest have had the better of putting Azure out to... like, just leaving him out to dry. I think on the whole. I think they've done a good job here. Jinx ult comes off too. He gets excited. Gets to use the get excited on the tower, which is nice. Extra bit of tower damage there. Bwipo survives on the other side. Doesn't even have to flash. More than happy with that one. And he gets to do that because he's level 7 compared to Azure's level 5. So you can see the discrepancy of how much easier it is to... It doesn't matter what champions there are to some extent at that level 2. Level 7 is much more survivable than level 5, just with base stats increased. However, during this, Betty does get bot lane turret for free. So... yeah, Woody's also getting pretty strong as well. Went for the magic resist Sunfire item. Oh, there's been nerfs to that item, so you can't set on Barmies anymore as well, isn't it? So you kind of have to go for the full item now. Okay, so what are we doing now? Because bot lane out of turret's down, Masu and Busio are now moving into mid lane. It's getting towards that point. Normally you do this around closer towards the time when plates fall. I guess because you now have Talia ult to stay in a side lane. Wait, where the... Hang on a second. Why don't we see Talia ult here? Is he not leveled it up? Has Jensen not leveled his ult? Surely he's leveled his ult. Has he used it this game? I mean... We'll see if he hits level 10 and if he levels it then. Ooh. Well, I think Flyquest have been very, very good at moving to lanes first. Flyquest are the team choosing which lanes they want to be in. They're choosing to have Jensen top lane after they chose to have Maso and Busio at various lanes on the map. Now it's in mid lane, but they've done that around. Because they're moving to these lanes first, it means that Inspired kind of gets to like move with the strong side of the map as well. And part of that is because he gets to kind of choose which side is the strong side too, because he's the jungler. That typically numbers advantage determines that. So he sat on a pink ward. If they got a CC combo here, it would have been what, 3 grubs, I guess, 3 second set of grubs, which is nice for them. Oof, good reactions from Maple though. That would have been a really nice kill to get. Would have denied 6 grubs, and now suddenly you have. This is a problem now. This is a problem because shout out to Scout on LNG, because this is a thing which I think he is the best player in the world at doing. And we've seen this across him on multiple iterations of LNG now. Now, it's very different with grubs, but it's still the same kind of thing when you have heralds and stuff like that too. This happened last year with them. Once you have, in this case, you're going to have 6 grubs. You have Nash's Tooth on his ear. Sideline turrets do not exist. And what that means is that Maple can just be sat in a side lane, threatening to destroy a turret in... what, 2 waves at this point in the game? 2-3 waves maybe? As opposed to other mid laners which might take 4 or 5 sometimes. It really does depend. But on the whole, Azir is one of the best turret killing mid laners in the game who can also survive alone in a side lane. which means that Flyquest continually have to answer Maple now. That's part of the reason why they wanted to force this kill here. Because if Maple has flash and just continually pushes in, and has, you know, Junja and maybe Aja on the roam or the center ult like that, kind of threatened on the side lane, Maple would eventually push in and destroy the turret very quickly for free. So they're trying to force away his flash and make sure that he can't have a safe laning phase. That's a good thing. It is a good thing. However, PSG are still... It's a good thing from Flyquest to respond to that. Even better reaction flash from Maple. And if Maple gets to sit alone in that side lane now, it's a big, big problem for Flyquest, because Azir's going to get a lot of gold for free. And you can see now they're just hovering topside and they're saying, look, just get some clear vision. Make sure that like Maple can threaten a side lane at least. You see, he's hovering like right here. He's so good at killing towers that it's going to be a big problem now with the 6 scrubs. In fact, how many is he going to get on this one wave? Because there are still plates up too. 6 scrubs, Nash is here. So he's gotten 1, I think. But they teleport back onto him. They know that this guy wants to hit turrets. They know he's really good at it, and they know that. So they know that PSG obviously want to hit that side lane turrets. They get the flash and hit too. So PSG did a token effort to kind of clear out some vision here, but they didn't clear everything, and there's a good teleport from Bwipo to shut that down again. So Flyquest really good to kind of win the mind game of saying, Azir will be heading towards this turret. If the other team members are not there, we can punish him. So that was good. Nice from Flyquest, actually. That was good. Good understanding of what PSG want to achieve in the next minute or two, and using that to play a mind game with them. During all of this, Betty's actually doing quite well in terms of his gold and his souls, though. God, I just realized I'm going to be doing like... I'm going to be on stream for fucking ages today, aren't I? There's like 5 games I want to do. I want to do all the games from yesterday. Yeah, as we said, this is the mind game already from Flyquest. They've done really well here. Okay, Herald's up. PSG already have 6 grubs. You really want to deny them Herald because that's a super push opportunity where they can just absolutely smash through mid turrets with a load of mites and then a load of extra tower damage too. Who's ready to fight right now, though? You know they don't have Bwipo TP. Bwipo's in top lane, so he can't respond very quickly. Maple has level 11. He's just pushing a good bot lane there. Jensen has TP as well, though. What happens to Busio, though? Do they know they're there? Do they spot him heading in there? They had no vision on this, right? This is blind, isn't it? Does he hop out of the brush? So they see Inspired head in there. Do they see Inspired? They'll see him there. So they see Inspired heading into the brush. So they want to catch Inspired here, or at least force his Q. Because Busio's here, it's a free kill. I'm going to throw this out there. It doesn't even matter if they hit Betty with this. If they hit Betty with this, the Devour comes out. And you reset the fight anyway. The fact that he hits the wall instead is not great. Wait, is that just a jump? Is that a new map geometry thing? Oh, wow. By the way, he hits here. And that latches onto this wall. That sucks. That's just new geometry. That sucks. The teleport from Jensen is too late to make a difference. Even if he'd done it earlier, it would have been too late to make a difference. And that's going to be kill over. It's going to be... Wait, you didn't even use any ultimates from PSG, so your fighting potential isn't even lowered at this point. You get Herald. That's going to be mid-turret, probably taken quite quickly afterwards, I'd imagine. Well, no, not quickly, but they will be taken afterwards. I think you just finished the Herald here, folks. You really want this Herald. I think this is too far from PSG, actually. I think it's quite risky to go towards this kill. Force the cleanse. Good burst combo from Inspired. Uses his ult, actually, though. Okay. Ult across both of them. Betty's playing this super well. Force the flash out. Okay. Wait, where the fuck is Aja? Oh, he fired it from further up the lane, right? Okay. I mean, actually, grand scheme of things, they burn 1 cleanse. They burn, well, they use 1 cleanse. They burn a ghost, 2 flashes. Does Busio flash as well, or was that earlier in the play? Maybe it was. Yeah, they burned 3 flashes, but 1 of them was earlier than that. So in terms of summoner economy, which I know Kira's fucking loving using again now. Everyone keeps using that term every so often. In terms of the economy of like tools you have to use, I think that actually PSG come across well with that. What does Maple do? Oh, Hex Gates, right. The only reason you can make this play is because of Hex Gates. So much quicker to roam. You can see on the minimap, like, Betty and Junja fly down here so quickly. Okay. Uses that flash. Busia doesn't have it from the last play. So now you have... Wait, they even left Herald for this, though. They left... So PSG are getting a load of kills, but they're losing... They didn't manage to take Herald. They lost this turret. They lost top turret. They've lost 2 turrets, but they got a lot of kills. Dragon's not up, so they don't even get to take that. Nice sidestep by Maple. Unfortunately, goes straight into Inspired. Inspired in the right place at the right time again, by the way. Yeah. How the hell does this happen, though? Wait, how does this happen? Let's go back to live. Come on, show us live. So, has there been any... Has there been, like, any... Oh, it was a Weaver's Wall. Right, it was a Weaver's Wall from the lane gank. So that's kind of... That's really well played by Jensen, because you can see there's, what, two wards in a wave pushed up, and there's Scuttle Crabs. There's very few ways to actually get in towards mid lane. So you have to Weaver's Wall through the lane, I think. You probably came from lane to kill him there. That's like the only way you can reach him there. That's well played by Jensen. Jensen's been having actually a pretty good game on the Talia. And once again, Aja is just like really not having an easy time getting any resources from himself, whether that's XP or whether it's gold. Yeah, it's an all 3 lane. He didn't see both of them coming down towards there, or was it both of them? Was it all 3? Anyway, whatever. Using the globals well. Because they have Weaver's Wall and they've got double teleport, which is nice. They don't have the teleport on their support like Woody does on Tankkench, but that's another thing. Okay. So, item breakpoints. Gold is pretty even. We do finally have Leandries. Leandries and Sundered Scout. Those are 2 really good 1-item spikes. Black Cleaver is a fantastic 1-item spike for Urgot, though. Seraph's completed. Knight's Vow, that'll be onto... Is that onto Jinx or is that onto Jensen? Yeah, I wonder who that'll be onto, actually. That'll be interesting to see. Because I don't see it on the Jinx hotbar right now. Not that you can see it, because I'm hiding it with my face. Kraken Slayer. Although actually, I mean, when it comes down to actual individual items, Opportunity Dirk, Swiftness Boots, and Blood Razor. Bloodsong, rather. Betty's in a really good spot. Like, yeah, especially with, like, 88 souls. Yeah, he's farming really well. When you're in a 2v1 lane, you get a lot of souls from just hitting the melee champion a lot. Sometimes in a 2v2, if you're in a winning 2v2, you have 2 targets to hit in your lane, which is really good for kind of getting souls, but it's kind of hard to do that in even 2v2s, right? Against like a Jinx Nautilus, it can be quite hard to do that because the Jinx is going to threaten to all in you if you look for poke. Well, like the Nautilus can threaten to all in you and the Jinx outranges you. Okay, so Flyquest used... They don't have a lot of flashes. Not having flash and Jensen is really dangerous for this fight. Are they really looking to go towards this? So they push in towards mid hard. They don't have the Weaver's Wall. Good roots. I think this is a Merc Treads diff. This is a Merc Tread diff. So, Woody goes right here. You can see the circle there, but Merc Treads. I don't even know if Bwipo went towards Legends Tenacity as well. If he went towards Tenacity, this is even worse for him. Because, like, he just walks straight out. With slightly less Tenacity, that is a knock-up. Even with that, I think he probably dies. It's not a great W, buddy. Great Sejuani ult. Great CC chain. Even with Merc Treads, it doesn't matter there. And then we have the first kill. We did say that Flyquest composition is all about killing the first target. They do that really, really well here after a misstep. The Senna ult is not helpful enough. Because he does get, you know, he's got Q ult, which is good kind of regen, but it's not enough. Sad missed hook there. If that hook lands onto Aja, oh, that would have been so big. Even onto Genja, that would have been big. What the hell does so much damage in return? Is it the equalizer? Is it just the equalizer? Ah, it's the equalizer in the choke point. Yeah, equalizer in the choke point does a good job here. Like, most of Inspired's health bars down from that. Jensen gets tagged by it at the end. Masu continued to get tagged by it. Was that a... Where's the Senna W? If that hits there, so that hits... Almost hits Bwipo. If that hits Bwipo, I think that's a huge one fight for them, actually. And the reason I say that is that you still have Devour to protect someone, which means that Genja can fly in for a Cataclysm. Maybe Woody can flash Devour to reset the fight as well. You don't have the Fear Beyond Death anymore. Oh no, you don't. What am I talking about? You don't have to devour the guy's dead. My brain is off, apparently. I think if that root hits, I still think they're in trouble though. The hook's down. It didn't hit terrain, so it's not on half cooldown, even though it's at max rank, at rank 9. Yeah, I think if a good center W hits, that's potentially very dangerous for Flyquest. Even with Moody misstepping, you can see that PSG have some really nasty kind of tools to play longer team fights with, especially with Betty getting to quite long range now as well. You know, Jinx is as long range as she will be. Senna will keep scaling up in regards to that. Yeah, tenacity definitely. Bwipo gets a lot of tenacity. Okay, good. Ah, that sucks. But even then, he can't hook Betty, because if you hook Betty, the Devour comes out. With that angle as well, even if he makes the wall flash here, I'm pretty sure that he hits Betty instead of Woody. If you hit Woody, I think that you get the kill. Wait, no, you don't even have to switch Sejuani ult though. Do you need Sejuani ult if you have the depth charge afterwards? Maybe you're okay. Well, that sucks. I don't even think that would have been that. I mean, there's a chance that works out, but I think without Sejuani ult, maybe that's not as likely to happen. Hey, Writer. Okay, let's go 2 times again. This is the Herald that they finally took. They have 6 grubs. This tower is toast. They have 3 turrets now. Second charge in. Baron is spawned, so any big fight beyond this point now leads to Baron, and that potentially is game. That being said though, I'm actually quite happy with how Flyquest have played out, like the lanes at least. I think the early game with the lane swaps was very well done by them. I think PSG were not very good at deciding what they wanted to do with Aja. I think Aja was kind of left out to dry. I think Bwipo was much more confident with where he wanted to be on the map. Okay. Dragon spawning in 2 minutes. That's not a problem right now. 22 minutes, 100 plus stacks. That's good. Yeah, you... Oh, shit. I think you're normally looking for about 100 stacks at about 22 minutes from what I've seen in Pro. So he's doing well on that. I think this is like... This is good stacking, right? It's harder to get, like, higher number of souls earlier into the game nowadays. Okay. So, vision control on bot side of the map. Use that to allow Jensen to wall in from Fog of War. Why is Woody walking here? They know that ward's in that position too. He has flash. He's going over a pink ward. Well, that's fun. Yeah, he is not good enough to be a soul tank. Tankage is not very good as the only tank in the league. Okay, what's happening here then? So use a big center ult. Master is now fully stacked lethal tempo and has Get Excited, which is very dangerous. But he does take a tower shot, and he gets tagged by the Equalizer. So now he's half health. Which means that he needs to be very careful, even with Flash and Ghost. But that's a play and a half. They don't have the center ult anymore. They use the ult onto front line instead of back line. They don't have tower... Well, they do get... Wait, tower aggro does get switched over at some point. So tower goes over to Masu. Okay. Maple's in an okay spot. But the thing is, though, like... Maple is not in a position here to get towards the back line. Especially with, like, this minefield here kind of making things difficult. Even if he did, there's flash on both these carries, which makes it very hard to kind of close them down. And you're still fighting a 4v5. Which reduces your damage. At this point in the game, even something like a Tonkan actually does quite significant damage. Yeah, that's trying to save the tower, but that's just not great timing. Woody has teleport in 30 seconds. It wouldn't have been enough to save the tower, I guess, but... Yeah, so really good use of the globals. I think Jensen on this tier has actually been doing very well. I like his tier a lot. And as we said, like, lose a big enough fight and you you give up Baron. You've just lost your jungler just before the Baron comes through. You don't have Equalizer. You don't have Cataclysm because he's dead. So, Maple, one sweep. But you then... Maple is the only playmaking tool, right, where he's looking to sweep in. But then if Jensen has a good enough minefield, if he positions well, and it's very hard for Maple to do that. Teleporting back in is Woody. But he teleports in as the Baron dies into a hookable position. And he's going to die for free. Woody has not been good, man. He has not been good. Double flash away, get a kill anyway. Baron up. Baron buff kind of up and available. Use that to push down mid lane turret to get excited, stacking up multiple times. I feel like the minor region teams are holding on way better than expected. Are the other teams just not taking the games actually serious, or are the regions better than I thought? I think minor regions are always a little better than people think, because people just like to just brush off minor regions as teams they don't need to worry about. I think that we'll review the day 2 games tomorrow, because we have to leave it 100 at like not 100 hours, 24 hours before we review them because of like co-streaming rules and like content rules. But yeah, I think that particularly Loud today did pretty well versus top esports at punishing top esports when they were slow to the punch on their macro. They were quite good at making snappy plays at the right timing. Okay, so we have Globals up again. Aja, again, starved of XP, 3 levels down. Has his ult, but can't clear things out particularly well. And you don't have Maple or Betty here, so there's no real damage to threaten the first target in. Ah, but they go a little too deep. If the fire happens under the in a turret, I think it's fine. I think it happens a little too far away from it. So Butio's going really fucking deep, man. Who's taking aggro? The Spide's taking aggro, that's fine. But Betty gets to walk over early enough. That's a very good equalizer, actually. Aja does a really good equalizer here. Yeah, that's really good. Because the problem is now, you don't want to head back into tower, but also if you head forwards, you have to walk into the equalizer, and your own Weaver's Wall's not helping here either in regards to your own retreat paths. Not that it would matter too much, I guess, in this case. Jensen has to head back this way. He's already used his combo, so Betty can walk up to him. If Betty lands a W, Jensen has to flash guaranteed, I'm pretty sure. Bwipo doesn't have his ult on target right now. He should get one onto Junja, right? No, because of the Devour. Okay. Equalizer now puts him into an even worse position. Oh, Jensen flashes inside the Cataclysm. Really good ult from Betty. But Masu's got big damage now. So 2 for 1? 2 for 1. Okay. Still. Dangerous playing around terrain there by Flyquest. I feel like they could have lost that harder. Okay. Super Mega Death Record doesn't do that much. Okay, spectating Dragon going down. They walked over enemy vision to get there anyways. That was always going to be unlikely to work out for anything. Kind of sucks that they weren't around to push any of the waves. But what waves can they push? They don't have teleports to get towards top lane, so they couldn't have pushed out that wave. So, Flyquest, they have 2 dragons to 2. So it's not like soul point advantage, but they do have good gold. Jinx is on a lot of good gold right now. But the problem is, you're getting towards the point where Senna is actually very hard to reach. You know, you're getting up towards 120 souls. That's a hell of a break point. Spire just trying to force people back onto their side of the map, which makes sense. 120 souls now for Betty. And you don't have a huge amount of armor on your team. Senna is so chilling in this game, actually. To the point where even if Betty gets an ult across the team, it's a bit of a problem. Because it's actually significant damage. A lot of what... so something which I think a lot of people don't pay respect to is how much damage Senna's 2-hit passive does. So if you manage to get an auto onto someone, they back off out of auto range and then they get hit by the ult, you get the percent health damage of the passive alongside the damage of the ult too. Okay, Bwipo has flash, trying to force it from out of turret. Use the equalizer at the same time. Wave's cleared out though. You can't advance over the equalizer. While it's happening, Maple's in the side lane. Again, he's got 6 rubs on his hip and he has the Gnash Tooth. Forced to teleport out to defend that turret. So that's a global down. So you've got combat ultimates for global trade, but the global's longer cooldown. That's okay for PSG. Stops Flyquest from kind of like grouping up and potentially forcing another fight with the Weaver's Wall, because the Weaver's Walls have been really dangerous so far. Genesis has some really good Weaver's Walls. Because Flyquest just had to go towards bot side, they lose some of their entrance towards top side in terms of control over the map. Spoiling for a fight with Baron up. These center Ws, if they hit, are really dangerous because there's a chance of, again, getting that like 2-tap passive through, which is a lot of damage right now from a very long range away. Almost 140 stacks, which is, yeah, really long range now. Managed to back off okay. Yeah, I mean, like, that's a very quick... Junja. I mean, Jensen just, like... Yeah. Jensen just puts down the minefield. There's nowhere across that gap. And then you get the... Flash Devour saves this fight, because Junja should have just entered that away, not gonna lie. That should have been a complete end, but I guess the Flash Devour's big. But that's Flash and Devour down. And the Railgun. And that's with... I mean, if you lose that fight again, Baron goes down. That's the kind of play which loses you the game. Now, Junja needs to be very careful with that. That's the kind of play which genuinely loses you games. Okay, so we're spoiling around Baron again. Also worth noting that you now have Zhonya's on Azure, and you have Zhonya's on... not Zhonya's. You have Ghostblade on Betty, which means that both of them have like some extra teamfight utility in a way that Senna can reposition a lot easier, and Kite, particularly Bwipo, a lot easier. But then also the Zhonya's from Azure can be really good at just like putting down the Flame Spitter and burning the first target down, and also surviving being the first kill, and delaying the reset a little longer if he's the one that's in trouble. Combine that with the Devour, you have a couple of delaying techniques now. Oh, hang on, this is big. Who doesn't have flashes? Because when you don't have flashes against Jarvan, things get kind of complicated, right? Okay, so you got vision control, topside PSG. Flyquest haven't really been able to use the Talia from out of Fog of War to force PSG to blow flashes and stuff like that recently. Hooks down. Bwipo has no flash. So Bwipo's the person without flash. So PSG, this is really good. This is really, really good because this equalize, this Cataclysm blocks off an extra little bit of area, because Masu would love to be able to like step up a little further, but he can only really step up to like here, right? If he stood there, his active range is what, like this maybe, which is a little bit further than he wants to be, which means that no one can, and the same kind of thing with Jensen. Jensen doesn't quite have the range to hit who he wants to, I don't think. Yeah, especially with the equalizer here. How does Masu fight? Masu gets... And then the Zhonya's here as well. So look at how many autos Masu gets like on champions this fight, because of what PSG did. This isn't Masu's fault. This is PSG doing it well. So he gets two autos onto Junja as he gets it out of the Cataclysm, and then because of the equalizer, because of the Cataclysm, he gets what, one Zhonya's auto, and then he finally gets autos now. He gets like 3 autos in that fight because PSG played it well. I don't even think that's Masu's fault. That was really well played. Junja actually gets a really good ult onto a flashless target. Ends up leading to the death of Busio, not Bwipo, but it ends up leading to a death. And then suddenly they can burn down the Baron and get themselves into the game. That was really well played for PSG. Very good understanding of using teamfight tools to deny the enemy backline position to damage them back. They're not aiming to kill the backline, they're aiming to zone them out. That was really good. Really, really good stuff. Trades it for a dragon, which is okay in this circumstance, because the Baron allows you to buy back a lot of gold, which is fine. God, Sterix is so strong. You also get flash out of Inspired, that's nice. Even with so much gold on Bwipo, Aja is the one which actually can have more teamfight impact as long as he lands a slow onto Masu and Jensen. Yeah, and Flyquest, because they're playing on a single lane, it's much harder for them to get these kind of dividing Weaver's Walls, which have determined a lot of these earlier fights. PSG slowly just pushing Vision up a little further to stop Jensen getting onto Fog of War and doing that. I say that. Jensen finds one last pocket of Vision. Because they need to... Yeah, PSG are very aware that if they allow kind of Flyquest here any pockets of Vision, they're going to get engaged onto, like, in very dangerous ways. Betty doesn't have Flash. Woody doesn't have Flash. Okay, so Weaver's Wall comes in now. Ah, it blocks off Bwipo. So you'd have to flash over. So Bwipo doesn't get any value. Wait, does Genja realistically need to go in here? I guess Woody's CC'd up, but I think what I think what Genja needs to do is I think he can maybe flash ult and flag drag combo out. I think by flag dragging first, he denies himself an escape. Yeah, I think that Genja should flash ult and flag drag back. I think that's a mistaken combo by Genja. Bwipo had already been zoned out of the fight. It's hard to know in the heat of the moment for sure, but that's really important there. Because that's going to stop PSG from using like one or two more waves of Baron, which sucks. This is a good first game though. Very good first game. For a first game of the tournament, this is great. Close game. Lots of like... Oh shit me, that's center damage now. Ah yeah, 160 souls thereabout. Yeah. Jesus, man. And with Bloodsong being so uniquely strong on center because she procs it so easily, like, she's effectively at 4 items, even though it's 3 because it's a support item, right? Oof. And yeah, I mean, Bwipo has no armor. And there's a lot of shred now onto Betty, who has Lord Doms alongside 2 lethality items, and the extra kind of exposed weaknesses from Bloodsong as well. Lands a W, gets the passive. Yeah, really good stuff. Bwipo has flash, but Jesus Christ, there's a lot of damage. Starix is blind for free. Yeah, Betty plays that super well. So the bonus which Flyquest got from the lane swap is Aja not being as impactful. The negative is center is very impactful and you don't have a way to deal with the center. Not really. Your way of dealing with the center is like Urgot gets to flash fear here in a fight. So you kill the first target, you flash onto her, and then like she then dies in the duration of the fear. But that's not been... It's very hard to consistently do that. Maybe Jensen can zone them out with a wall, but when you get to this kind of range and you just get to Q ult through the fight too, that can sometimes just be enough. Let's keep going. Okay. So we just keep going mid. Just keep going mid. PSG want to keep forcing groups. If I think in group fights they're showing that they can win. Maple's getting to the point where he's a 4-item Azir. He can kill the front line now as well. You know, Bwipo is not a hyper tank late game. He's got an Anathemas and that's onto Azir, which helps him kind of like survive through a bit of the anti-tank burst, but it's not a huge amount. Stealing away blue buff. That's nice against Maple and Betty. Taking away some extra cooldown reduction. The mana sustain is nice. Aja's on 3 items. He's a full item behind on Bwipo. 2.6k. That's like a full item, man. Okay. Yeah. I think that Flyquest know that as soon as PSG get themselves a mid lane prio, it's really hard for them to organize the fight that they want to. So they're trying to engage before Flyquest, before PSG get themselves pushed up in mid lane again. Maple puts down a really good Azir turret to again just hold the wave there. So what happens now? Who do you land a hook onto? Land onto Woody, who has flash, and you've got Betty stood behind him. Inspired puts some damage down onto Maple, so that's some of the DPS kind of checked up. Woody's surviving a long time. Ult in, does ult in, flash, flag drag out. You're probably forcing double flashes out of here now. So Masu doesn't flash out, but because he doesn't flash out, he has 2/3 of his health gone. Bwipo... What happens with Bwipo? He eases forward. He tries to catch Genja before he can fly drag out. But he fails, and that means that he is now slowed in the Cataclysm, and he can't flash out because he's not close enough to the back walls. I mean, credit to Genja. Genja's done really well besides that one play in mid lane. Or like that one play in mid lane where he kind of went too deep and he should have like flash ulted and fly drag back. He's done a really good job of just using the Cataclysm as a way to kind of force Flyquest to burn defensive tools, which means that they're not in inopportune ways. While all this is happening as well, did I focus on what Maple did? I remember Maple doing some really good stuff here as well. Yeah, and Maple just like separates out the fight again just on this other side. Like there's no way he's not gonna get hit by anyone doing damage. Doesn't matter that he gets hit by a hook. That basically just kills Busio. Actually, Busio should just not have hooked there. But he was likely dead anyway, I guess. So much for muchness. And Masu pops Ghost to get himself a recall, which is important. I think if Jinx dies, then that's a huge moment for PSG. They get like, especially since Jinx would die so late into the fight, that he just wouldn't be out on the map for a very long time after that point. Yeah. Good shove, though. I even missed that double shove. Like, Jensen again on the Talia. His KDA might not show it, but Jensen's having a really good game. Okay. Okay, we have Baron shenanigans. Now, if Masu had died, they wouldn't have been able to do this, but because he survived, he managed to recall, managed to get towards the Baron. What are we looking at here? Who has flashes for the Cataclysm? Who has flashes? Everyone on PSG, none for Bwipo, but everyone... Well, BCO doesn't need those. There are 2 flashes not down on Flyquest, but the 2 carries have them. What items have we got? BF Swords is not full build here. Same on the other side. There's a BF Sword here as well. 4 items in mid lane. Basically everyone else is at parity, okay. Good Weaver's Wall. Although Junjik has less about it. Ooh, good ult. CC them up. So that ult there, that CC is kind of just stopping Junja going for a steal attempt. Junja ults in, devoured out. Yeah, but you can't walk up into Betty like that. You need to directly hit the center. If center lands that W again, that's like a dead person. Betty is so strong, man. So strong. Hydrate, I can hydrate. Okay, but they get the Baron and they get out. But there was a real risk there. I felt like Flyquest kind of underestimated Betty again. Betty had flash. Like, Bwipo doesn't have flash. There's no way he's catching Betty there. And if he gets hit by a W from center, he dies. I have hydrated, thank you. Stay hydrated, folks. It's hot out here in Berlin, though. Very hot out here in Berlin. Oh, can I put my feet up briefly? Oh. Okay. So now we have Baron push coming in from Flyquest. Which means that they get to starve out vision from PSG for the Soul Dragon, which will be Soul for either of them. You know, Woody mispositioned quite a lot in the early game and into the early parts of the mid game, but the later the team fights have gotten, Woody has been very hard to get rid of quickly, which means that the first target being killed, which Flyquest would like to have for the Urgot Fear and then the Jinx reset, has been much harder to do. And it means that PSG get to play a lot more aggressively around the job. Okay, let's see what's happening here. So they finally get themselves this pocket of vision again to play through, so the wall can come out of Fog of War. Maple gets caught out of it, spell shield's down. Just starts DPSing though. Just starts DPSing, the flame chompers don't hit them. Equalizer. As soon as the equalizer's down... Wait, where's that Sejuani ult headed? I think he just throws the ult at Junja to stop there being like a flag drag, like a Cataclysm, the hot pot combo. Yeah. You can survive, Angie. I believe in you. Is it... God, is it hot where you work? Does your work have AC or anything? Well, I guess not many buildings have AC in Europe, but yeah. Good W. Okay. Okay. Oh shit, I went too far that time. So you can see Masu gets hit by the Q, right? And you know what I was saying about Senna getting a lot of damage for, like, the passive? So he's already got the one tap down. The second tap will basically just half help Masu now. Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. Because you get the passive alongside the ult damage there too. That's really well played from Betty. I don't see many Sennas do that. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad you've got good AC. Because that shit is very useful for the, you know, couple of weeks a year it gets really warm in Europe. Well, in the UK it's like that. Germany was really hot last year, actually. We had a bit of a heat wave. But yeah, Betty, really good understanding of how to, like, get the most out of the passive of Senna in terms of the damage from that. Because when you get the double tap, you do get some percent HP damage on it too. Okay, Betty 180 stacks now, which is frankly absurd. Trying to stop resets with the Jinx Rocket. so what's happening now? So you've choked out Vision. You're looking to put another Azir turret up in mid lane. PSG haven't really been able to play around mid lane prior for a while because Flyquest have forced them onto different areas of the map and forced them to run back quite a lot. Put down a ward to try and get the center queue, which they do. Just doesn't do that much. Junger's actually quite tanky now, especially with like your shield maxed out. I don't know whether you max it second right now, but I think you max it last. Arja's also kind of like a bit of a problem. He's now a late game rumble even if you shut him down early game. Okay, the W lands onto Busio. So Busio has no flash now. Oof. What does he get rooted up from? Really good from Inspired actually. Yeah, Inspired traps Junger in his own Cataclysm, which is rough. So it's flash for flash at the end of that. Dragons up. Banshees is down. Really good wall from Jensen, but the wall's a bit early. I think he's afraid that they're going to push beyond it. But that wall's too early. The wall's too early. Equalizer. Oh, man. That's nasty. That is nasty. The Equalizer and these... the Railgunners can like return fire for the wall to buy them entrance. And it's like retaking the pit, right? You're using everything to retake the pit. Like you would do in a tactical shooter or something. Masu's... Jesus Christ, Masu should never walk up like that. So he gets tapped by the ult. And again, it's just the second part of Senna passive. Crit on top of that too. Does Senna have Infedge at this point? Yeah, Senna has Infedge. So that's a crit auto on that. Jesus, man. And even though you don't have that much crit in terms of items, you only have 2 crit items, the Senna passive makes up the difference. Holy moly. So Masu just kind of... Yeah, he's just in a bad spot. I almost wonder if Masu should be in the pit with Inspired and then just tries to flash out. Because it's so hard for Masu to play on this kind of... Like, as a Jinx, you do not want to be stood here. You're not long enough range to deal with all of this. You don't... yeah, because they can use their abilities to strike from longer range, right? Whereas, like, if Masu stood... It sounds weird, but if Masu stood in the pit here... Or like stood like around, I don't know, here or something. He can at least flash over and fire back into the pit. And then use Ghost and Passive if that comes through to make something work. Yeah, I wonder if Masu should actually be stood around either back of the pit here. Oh yeah, I think he should be stood back of the pit here. Because like this is so hard to play around. And stepping up like this is a huge mistake. There is... God, this is such an... Flyquest have put themselves into a really shit position here. Like, Jensen nowhere near the combo. Busio dies if he goes in. Masu, as we saw, is going to get half health by, like, a single auto now. Yeah, that's fair. 180 stacks, and then just... Yeah, it's so game over at that point. Bwipo and Inspired are just trying to get themselves soul. Oof, bloody hell. God damn, Q auto onto him just kills him. Arja flashes over. This is game, right? This should be game. Is this game? Or is it just inhib? Should be game, right? Okay, to get the combo onto him. Yeah, that's game. I mean, PSG have really good understanding of spacing in teamfights. They have really good use of Cataclysm and Equalizer to stop people from fighting the other way that they want to. I do think that Flyquest were better in terms of choosing which lanes to play on. But when it came up to actual team fights themselves, I think that just the zoning tools were used very well by PSG. Very, very well. I think that Junger and Arja did a really good job of just like using the Cataclysm and the Equalizer to stop these typically long-range carries, the Jinx and the Talia, from doing anything really. The zoning was fantastic. And trapping flashless targets in the Cataclysm is always like a very important thing as Jarvan, of course. So yeah, well played with them. Well played. Okay, gonna move on to game 2. And I will quickly go into the other room and give my brain a break. So give me like a minute or 2. And if it's on VOD, I'll be here magically in like a few seconds, I guess. Come on. Load the VOD. Wait, is it logged me out again? No. It does it a lot. Okay. 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 Give me but a minute, folks. Shall we get on with it, folks? Let's get on with it, shall we? Get on with it. Do it in there. Okay. Cool. Game 2. Game 2. So, what's changing in draft and why is the video quality so low? Tonight on top lane. Yankos misses a spear. That was a skip which I wanted to run actually. I wanted to run it tonight on like a Top Gear parody thing for LEC at some point. That would have been fun. Okay, so Lucian first pick after... Wait, is Kalista been banned? No, it has not. Once again, still banning the mid lane kind of aggro champions. Banning away the Renata, I guess if they want to first pick the Lucian and they see that one of Varus or Kalista are going to get through, you want to deny the Kalista Renata or Varus Renata, which are both very powerful lanes. And if the Nautilus is banned as last ban there as well, you don't get to go towards like the Kalista, like Senna Varus or Senna Nautilus or Kalista Nautilus or something like that. Okay, so we see, goddamn, the stream is really not happy there, is it? Okay. Kalista Ashe. Now, Betty and Woody are not great about playing kill lanes. I don't really like them playing that, not gonna lie. But still, very strong 2v2. But not having Kalista Nautilus or Kalista Renata is kind of rough in some ways, because you can't just instantly force fights in the same kind of way. You need to be like more passively high value and continually getting those extra auto attacks. It's not about one big moment all the time. It's about lots of small moments which kind of build up into a kill. And then Genesis Clear, which actually we said was pretty good from game one, is locked in again. Maybe going towards the Azir again, but the one of my issues here is that if you go all in with this stuff, it's quite hard to follow up with the Azir in the same way that it would be with something like a Nico again, right? I really don't want to see Maple as much on... I mean, his Azir last game was fine, but I think that Maple... I prefer him on more agency picks, and I don't think this is it. Who do I rate higher between Aja and Kiaya? They're very different players, really. Aja's better in early lane. Kiai could be better in mid-game team fights, but Aja's also very good at that. We'd need to see them against each other, but we don't get to see that. Finally, I'm streaming again. Thank you, Puff. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're doing some VOD reviews today. We'll see, yeah, we'll see how many we get through. We'll do this series. I'll see how much energy I have. I'd like to do T1 Astral, but we'll see how much energy I've got. This is an interesting call. So you have the Lucian Nami, and you have the Talia. Thank you, Puff. I appreciate it. Yeah, if anyone's got a free Twitch Prime, hell yeah. Throw it in. So these are very good champions at like going forwards with so the prime combination here already is like going forwards with the tidal wave corralling people or CCing and slowing them after the knock-up as well. Into the culling as well. The culling will be happening while that's happening. The Talia ult will happen probably before this at points 2 to kind of again cut off escape routes. Now, typically what's very good against that is Maokai. Maokai is very, very good with and against Lucian Nami, particularly against because as soon as you dash forwards, you have like an ultimate to throw back at them, and it kind of stops people from crowding around the Lucian as well. They go towards the Sejuani instead. I think that Maokai is better against Lucian Nami. Sejuani's still pretty good at like pinging the Lucian if he jumps forwards too hard, but on the whole, I prefer Maokai as well, because also you would have Maokai Ashe. Maokai Ashe between Hawkshot and then Saplings has incredible vision control. And then also you're allowing, you know, Maokai Talia is a very good duo in terms of like one wall goes across and then the ult kind of pins them against the wall so they don't have any escape routes. Same with the Tidal Wave. I think Tidal Wave and Maokai are both very, very good at kind of controlling the battlefield. So you're hoping that Aja gets a really good top lane matchup for Sejuani to make the most of that, because you're giving over the Maokai now, which again is very good with and against Lucian Nami. And it feels like now PSG will not have easy access to... They won't be able to like play the zero backline threat style which happened before. Which, you know, the Senna didn't have to worry about anything, so there was zero backline threat onto her. That's not the case now. I think that the Talia wall into the Maokai ult makes it much harder to position as a backline. And you see the Urgot again. And then the problem is, if you're playing melees into Urgot, Urgot beats a lot of melees right now. So... You go for the Cassante, which is a fine front line. Gets crapped on by the Urgot in an individual matchup, though. So I'm not exactly looking forward to how Aja's going to play through that. That's going to be rough. raise the share up a bit so I can... Yeah, cool. Alrighty, let's get into game then, huh? Where's the camera? Large mirror. Cool. Let's keep going then. Okay, barrier on Ashe, useful in level 1 bursty lanes, which Lucian Armor can be. Anything else in here? Let's have a look. We've got Legend Tenacity on the Yargot again, so yeah, he's going to have double Tenacity, which is going to be really annoying. I don't even think that Bwipo needs to go towards... I don't think he needs to go towards Tabby at all now, because you've got a Lethality, double Halo Blades bot lane. I really think this is a very bad mistake actually going for... Well, no. Is it? The thing is, you don't like playing on-hit Callista into Talia, because like the minefield can make it very hard. So you want to be playing on the edge of your Q range, so you don't get hit by the Talia E, instead of your auto range, which is kind of in the Unraveled Earth, which is not fun. You have the Maple for tank. You have the Maple Azir for tank killing, which is okay. If you're playing Lethality Callista, though, you need to smash lane. And Betty and Woody are not great at that. I think that, with that in mind, I think that they would have preferred Betty to be on something that can actually be more consistent in later team fights. I think you're going to really struggle against Urgot, who doesn't care about Lethality Callista. I think you're going to... Ah, man. You even have, like, an early invade coming through as well. Or, like, an early invade. Is this early invade? Yeah, it is. Is it another lane swap? It's another lane swap. Okay, great. But once again... So, they do actually have vision on the enemy Raptors this time, though. So you don't even get to smash lane because the Callista Ashe are going to be out of the picture. PSG's level 1s have not been good. They have not been good, man. So now they have to slow build up a wave down here. And I think Bwipo's been absolutely fine in lane swaps. I think he's been playing them quite well, actually. In the first game he did, anyway. Inspired also covered him the few times where he was at risk. How long is this game? Oh, this is quite a long game. Right, so they're going for 3-man bot with Aja coming through here, and then Aja can teleport up to top side to collect some waves, I guess. He might be able to teleport right now, in fact. Yeah, he should have teleported a little earlier as soon as he realizes that bot lane's not going to be there. Gets himself a dedicated 1v1. Betty and Woody are going to recall now so they can at least get some combat gold to play a laning phase in. So they can go back to lane with combat stats. They have a long sword advantage over bot lane. So nothing huge has come of this lane swap, actually. All it is a plate. It's a plate on one side, 2 plates on the other. Aja managed to spare some plate gold. Bwipo hasn't backed yet, that's important to note. So he gets to teleport back into lane with combat stats. This is really bad, though. This is why I was saying I don't like Betty and Woody on kill lanes. Because this is a bad mistake to make. You still have... So, Masu has first strike up, dashes forwards, double tap. Yeah. Get the bounce from Busio as well with the E. And suddenly Betty has to play at half HP. Like, you shouldn't be losing that, you know. You know, Woody's not in range to auto-attack back, which is a big problem. Like, he gets a W back, but even Woody doesn't even manage to step up and get some Halo Blades autos. That's bad. That's really bad, actually. I guess maybe he's afraid of getting caught by a Nami bubble and having to, like, use barrier or flash, but... Yeah, that's a bad mistake. Because you just came in with an extra longsword advantage over the Lucian. You should be able to win through this laning phase, but they fail it. Masu has 3 pots as well, so even if you take an okay trade, it's going to be pretty awkward. So the Callista, what did we say? Callista has to smash lane with the lethality build. Hasn't done that. Part of that's through lane swap, because the level 1 power has been denied. Part of that has also just been misplaying the re-entry into the laning phase. Junder's going into the enemy jungle, but not dropping wards, interestingly. Well, drops 1 ward. No, that's Maple's ward. He hasn't dropped a ward at all. I feel like Junger dropping a ward behind Raptors would be really important here, though. Oh, he does drop it now. Okay, he drops it now. Just a little bit later. Okay, I criticized him too much. Gets the smite steal. Bwipo still hasn't teleported back to lane. Jensen flash out of mid. And Maple gets to do that just before he teleports back as well, so he gets to regen all his mana. That was a free play for him. Nice. So he doesn't have to be sat there on 0 mana because he casts his ult, which is very expensive early game. Especially since Azir doesn't build any mana items anymore. Okay. Azir. Did Arjun not have W? Because if he has W, this is like really hard to make, right? Because you just get a lot of damage reduction. Get teleport out for the ult for Jensen. So Maple had managed to back already though, so that's nice. So Maple gets to like... This is okay, right? Because if you'd... This is the thing which used to happen in earlier seasons, like Season 8, Season 9, where you'd like teleport to a side lane and then you just walk back mid lane. So you can do a defensive teleport and walk back mid, which is completely fine. Instead of just teleporting mid lane, if you just teleport mid, you get to push quicker and you maybe don't lose the 1 or 2 minions, like the 2 minions or 2 or 3 minions rather, that you would lose from going top lane. But at least you get to use that defensive teleport to stop a dive from happening successfully. This used to happen a lot in earlier seasons. And Maple, of course, has been playing for forever, so it's something which he's more accustomed to, I guess. Still think Jensen very active though. Jensen's been very, very good. I've liked how Jensen's played out the laning phases and then used the global pressure out of Fog of War to make stuff happen. He's a good mage player. I like him a lot on mages. Map hacks from Ashe. This is why I said Ashe Maokai can be really, really important, right? Because both of them on their own are already good at vision control. Another smite steal, that's nice. But if you get both of them, it means it's very hard for Flyquest to make some of those plays like Jensen's been making on that Talia in the same way, right? Get a red buff steal, it's nice. So they get Raptors and they get red buff steals. They get some gold away from Inspired, but he's still got a lot of good farms, so it's not even that problematic, right? God damn, the stream's struggling. It was struggling. This is on VOD. Surprised they don't have like a clean recording of it, but maybe it's a problem not on stream. Maybe it's on the machines they were using to output stuff to OBS or whatever system they use. Probably not OBS, thinking about it. Probably something a bit more high end. Ooh. But even with that, PSG, because their continued presence in bot side and keeping Inspired in his own jungle, means that there's very little vision to put into the enemy side of the jungle. Arrows out of Fog of War. It misses, but still. The fact that they can make plays out of Fog of War and catch Jensen, very important. That's nice. Yeah, kill onto Witty's not bad either. Early kill onto an Ashe is nice because it allows you to potentially get towards something like an Umbra Glaive or whatever. Good side stuff from Maple. Now you don't have Weavers. You don't have a couple of your big ults to fight Dragon around now though, which is not great. You'd love to be able to force that Dragon fight. Another good side step from Maple. Still, yeah, if he gets hit by that, it's flash blown. Would have been nasty. Yeah, I guess because of that pick onto Jensen, they don't get to go towards Dragon because they use too many combat summoners. They do get grubs, but when you've got a Callista, you'd love to fort. Wow, another Ashe arrow into mid. Okay, so that's basically the same play. That was actually an arrow from mid as well. From base, I think. Was that an arrow from mid? Or was it from their own jungle? I was, yeah, he cancels his recall to do that. It's because Jensen was recalling on top of a ward they had in mid. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice from Betty. That's cool. I like that a lot. Not from Betty, from Woody, rather. Okay, I mean, you take those, right? It's extra gold in the right places. They have 5 grubs now, so they can still do Nash's grub Azir in side lane, which we said was very powerful in previous, in the last game. Yeah, that's nice. Alright, we've seen that enough then. It's cool. So what you really want is Maple to go into a side lane and start taking turrets like that. Flash away from Jensen's really nice. I am kind of worried that Callista's not going to get that much value now, though. Okay, 3v3ing bot side. Because the Callista's kind of outliving their usefulness quite soon. Does Betty not have Q at this point? When was the last time you used Q? Does he use it here? Yeah, he uses it there. You don't have Q up this quickly, though. You really need the Q to be back up. This is a bit of a problem. Now, if Betty can actually insta-kill these minions, then it's great, because you get Ren stacks for each minion killed. I don't think he does, though. Not at this point. Not at level 8, I don't think. Because if you can get, like, a 2-minion Q, and then kind of rend out 3 stacks, that's pretty big. I don't think he even has it on cooldown, though. So that's a bit of a mistake from Junja. Also, right here, you shouldn't be tanking up both these tendrils. You should be tanking up one and then pulling them back out with the cholesterol, especially if you're going to do that anyway. It means that Junja wouldn't have to take the extra damage from the Maokai ult. And the CC. Okay, while this is happening, Maple's found his way onto Jensen. Not a great flash, actually. Takes him away from the active damage range. So that's a bit of a shame. I think Jensen should have died there. And then really good flash forward from Inspired as well. It's a very good punish, though. Jensen not dying there, it kind of sucks, though. If Jensen dies, he doesn't get to control this next wave. There's a chance that... Hang on, what was the mid lane turret at? Because he would have been dead for... It would have been like another 15 seconds beyond this point he would have been dead for. Actually, slightly higher level than Betty and Woody as well, so it would have been more than that, I guess. Yeah, call it about 15 seconds from now. So he would have been able to take that turret, I think, Maple, with Nashes and Grubs. Because he has the Vod. Five Grubs is good damage to towers. So if you get that kill on bot jungle, that's mid tower down. That would have been a big game-changing moment. Well played of Maple to... Of Jensen, rather, to get out of that alive. Close run stuff. Close run stuff. And now it's going to be quite hard to break open mid lane turret. You'll need a Herald for that now, I think, because now you have Lucian Nami with a Maokai kind of hovering them from both sides of the jungle, from either side of the jungle. It's very hard to break up in mid lane. Lucian tends to be a very dominant mid lane playing champion, especially with Shiv built up as well. You'll get rapid fire cannon. That's going to be a very difficult moment. Yeah, they can't even walk up on mid lane, right? Very, very hard to walk up on mid. So they give up Herald as well. You still have cleanse on Massey, so he doesn't have to be that respectful either of this. He can just kind of tank Sejuani out with a cleanse. So well played of Flyquest, knowing that they have like Lucian heading in towards mid lane to get some good value of that. Now, Maple would love to be in top side and just wailing away on turrets now. He needs to really try and get like good value out of this this moment of power. 5 Grubs, Nash's Tooth, very, very big for killing side lane turrets. And if he can get himself a quick side lane turret, get a load of gold from that, accelerates him through to, 2 items or so. Okay, Dragon's up in 10 though. Wait, where was that ult going? Wait, where was that ult going? That's way off, man. That's way off. It's not even like you could flash predict that. Betty is completely zoned out of the fight too. Hang on, let me actually slow this down. I was trying to go a bit faster because my focus is lagging a little bit after live viewing and then reviewing. But I should also do this fight justice, so bad ult from Junja. Betty has no front line to stand in front of him because Aja's not there soon enough. Not great from... I also feel like you should be able to use the Ashe ult first here, right? Use the extended stun duration of long range. Junja actually puts his Night's Vow onto Woody because he thinks Woody's going to be the one closest to him, which makes sense, actually. I don't know what Woody's doing with his ult. Woody, I think, also could have ulted towards Masu to stop the culling. If Woody actually ults here, like, as soon as Masu dashes, right here, I think as soon as he dashes, if Woody ults here, like along this line, then the culling will at least be stopped before Betty can have like good value. It might just blow the cleanse, but it also means that Betty doesn't get chunked out. So this is a mistake from Woody for me. Like, holy crap, that's so much damage. It's like, it would have saved him the last half of his HP bar and maybe gotten a point where Aja could then run him down, maybe. Maybe. And I think Junja also just, like, missing that ult is just not in a great spot either. And then he just gets decked. Jesus, man. But I think Betty just not being able to fight here is a big problem. Betty's just not a factor this game. He was a fantastic factor in game 1. I think his Senna was really good. I just don't think he was very good here. I think that his Callista's not been good in laning phase. He's played his first team fight badly. I heard some weird squeaking sounds from next door. Like high-pitched squealing. I wonder what Sam... what the fuck is Sam doing? Okay, Dragon's up. Good Q onto Jensen. Teleporting in from Bwipo to frontline. Bwipo is a pain in the ass now. Very hard to... You can't kill Bwipo easily. Like, you don't have the items on Azir yet to be a one-person threat onto him. And, like, the Kalista is not a threat onto the Urgot. They have the Herald. They can force in pretty easily. Does it give it... It's not a full kill, but it's enough damage now that you can't leave Lucian unattended in mid lane. And he's very good at playing through mid lane. So you have to play his game, which is nasty. Okay. This is, once again, Flyquest playing the mind game of knowing that PSG... Well, I mean, they know that they want to like play around side lane turrets if possible. Betty's not on the roam, so this is now getting pretty awkward. Okay. Right. They get much here. Another W. Okay, so they're trying to play the mind game again, trying to shut them down, playing through side lanes with the split push power. Ash Arrow is pretty good. Extended CC because they hit Jensen with everything. So they hit them with the Ash Arrow and then the Sejuani ult. They still can't kill him. Jesus, man. The damage just isn't there. They just can't finish off the kills. Okay, so now you have Masu who has cleansed. No ult though, just use that. Good Ash W. Woody flashes forward, but the problem is, like, you still have heal from Busio, and you still have, like, some of his ability to speed people up as well. Nami's pretty good at, like, giving the extra moves and speed in clutch moments. People forget about that. So that's a shame. Woody kind of wastes flash there, sadly. But on the whole, I mean, Flyquest still, again, did a good job of, like, mind-gaming PSG and had a good response for reading their next move. But then PSG actually managed to... survive the fight at least. They should have gotten more out of that, I feel, but they couldn't quite manage to make that work without Betty though. Betty's just not been a factor. If you have a center ult there, I think things are completely different. I don't want to see Betty on the Kalista again. I just don't feel like it's a big factor. Bwipo is now destroying side lane, even with just the Black Cleaver. Jeez, missed the ult, but close. Using the Maokai ult to secure mid turrets. Again, Maokai with the threat, the Lucian ult over the top of it. You can't stand there. And they're winning in Dragons against a Kalista, which is very rare. The lane swap partially helped with that because it denied Kalista some of the early lane locking potential. Masu's going to get, what? Is he going to get 3 items for this next dragon, or is it just 2.5? Wow, he does get 3 items. Wow. Big spike. Big spike. But because he backed for 3 items, it means that Flyquest are now late to the pit. So his resets are in a bad time, actually. Yeah, that's actually a late reset from Masu. Like, he knows he has 3 items, but he overforces it. He just needs to be here at the end of the day. Be great to get Soul Point. Oh my god, he steals it anyway. Even against Rend. Oh, you should never steal that against Rend, you know. And then they've overextended themselves for this. I mean, it's a really good teleport from Bwipo. Ah, good sidestep. Yeah. Aja's just pieced out, man. Wait, where did Aja go? So Junja dies as well. Jesus, man. Aja's walking down from... Thing is, though, even PSG aren't that well set up for this. They get the dragon, but, like, Aja's not stood in the front line. He can't be there to like, help front line. Junja dies immediately. Actually, both these teams set up really bad for this dragon. Like, PSG get the dragon, but they're not happy with the amount of kills they're trading back for it. Flyquest, they couldn't get to fight in the timing that they wanted to because Masu had a late reset. And he went back to shop a little too close to dragon. The fact that they get away with dragon is absolutely nuts. And then they get Baron as well. So that's game. This is effectively game at this point. Speed beyond this. Oh, hang on. Oh, oops. Yeah, this is actually a big moment. Oopsies. Maybe let's not speed past this. Because there's a fucking Baron steal. Is there any way you could stop this? I mean, Jensen doesn't have wall. Oh my god. Yeah. Then Maple gets into the middle of things. Masu survives a lot longer than they would have liked. Maple's heading over the wall. Ah, this is a huge... Wait for this huge mistake to happen here, by the way. So, Bwipo gets ult onto Aja. And he... When does he fire it? When does he fire it? So he has it now. Ult happens now. Aja jumps over into him. He get... Wait, does he get stunned on anything too? Yeah, he... Oh my god, he jumps into the minefield. He jumps in... He gets hit by the Urgot ult. Jumps into the minefield. Gets himself stunned. Bwipo gets like a full combo onto him. Starix is still there anyway. And then Bwipo gets to flash over onto Betty and gets Betty killed. Aja 100% throws this fight. You can at least get 2 out there. You can at least get 2 out. Instead, they lose every Baron buff. Because Aja jumps into it. That is like the worst possible way to play that back end of that fight. That is such a turbo int. That's such a turbo int. Because they get the Baron steal. And if you get just a couple of Barons out, it's still bad. You're still losing 3 kills, but you get something, right? Jeez, man. Yeah, Aja jumps into the edge of the Unraveled Earth, and while he has the Urgot ult onto him, so he just gets completely blasted. Completely blasted. Really, really bad stuff from Aja, sadly. And Betty has 3 items, including a Cyrilda's, which is meant to be your percent pen item, but you just don't do anything to Bwipo here. And we'll see that on full show here. So we have a hard mid lane push from Flyquest to use the marker out to kind of keep PSG on their own side of the map. PSG still trying to play around mid lane prio. This is like, they're trying to like group up, force through mid, and then play through that. Bwipo slips off a vision, and he's just so tanky now. So tanky. Like Starix, look at that Starix. Huge, huge value. But they don't have someone that can just immediately kill him. No, Maple is forced like ult defensively. Like he's doing okay damage even though he's done that, but just what damage is coming out of Betty, you know? Betty again ends up getting feared by Bwipo. Bwipo just completely runs this fight. Bwipo, great play around Fog of War, and just getting huge damage off here. But also a huge disrespect from like Betty. Well, I think Betty's had a bad game. Betty's had a bad game. Betty had a fantastic game 1. Really, really non-impactful game 2. Non-impactful. I also wonder, was there an angle for Betty to use the cholesterol here? I wonder if Betty could have pulled the cholesterol to use Woody to at least get some damage on someone important. What is Betty doing here? He's trying to DPS down Bwipo. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Yeah. I think Betty is playing as though he's on hit Callista, and he ain't got the damage, man. Yeah, I think Betty should have gone on hit. Should have gone on hit, especially at this point in the game. He's not good enough at laning phase to justify going towards the Callista. You need to win laning phase super hard for this to work. Okay, and now using Marco to just run forward aggressively. At least Aja's here to play frontline this time. I don't think Aja's been great either in terms of frontlining. And now he's such a huge amount of gold down that doesn't really matter what he does. Not to the same extent anyway. Dragon's up now. It's Soul. You have to force your way back into River. Good ult from Jensen. Again, just forces PSG back again. At least they're not taking the Dragon this time. They peeled off of it. PSG do brute force their way into River, and they have a lot of good ultimates available at least. And their HP bars aren't too low. That's fine. That's actually okay, considering what they had to go through to get into River. Another Marco ult, another W, but Jesus Christ, the tank killing potential is just so different between these teams, man. The frontline just doesn't exist for PSG. Whereas Flyquest, like, what do you do? Good shuffle from Maple, but you have to do that through the frontline. And the frontline just gets to disrupt you too much. Yeah, Masu and Busia die, but they, Jensen gets peeled out of that by Inspired and Bwipo all the same. Yeah, I don't like this. I think a lot of their problems at this stage in the game are through the Lethality Callista. They just can't kill a frontline. Which means they have to pull off some miracles to kind of get things working. Back into mid lane. Markel's back up again. They can just throw that wherever they want. Inspired's having a really good game on the Marco. They still have the Marco ult to defend this Baron. Okay, let's slow this down. Okay, Baron's being started. PSG have to come through mid lane. They don't have any flanks. Ult is not awesome onto Inspired, but they need to hit someone, I guess. Junja activates his Aftershock at least through that. But again, he's just not tanky. Look how quickly he dies. Nami ult stops follow-up from... no, it doesn't really. Actually, no, Maple just... Oh, God. No, I mean, the Nami ult's okay, actually. It doesn't end up hitting Betty in a good place. Betty's actually slowed by the sapling, which is a bigger thing for him. And then Maple tries to get himself another, like, hero play. And then just... Yeah. Now, if he doesn't... So he ends up, like... So he E's here. And then he Q's here, I think. Like, here. If he Q's here, he doesn't go through the minefield. But he hits just this edge here. He hits this last little rock here. Isn't Junja some insane mechanical solo queue god? Doesn't strike me as a Sejuani specialist. He's very good at choosing his engages, though, right, on the whole. Like, he's been pretty... Well, he's a very good Xin Sao player. He used to be a very good Nidalee player. But yeah, he's been very good at just choosing the time to engage. But, anyway. The big thing here is just, you know, you're against a flashless... These three all have no flashes. Guys, these three all have no flashes. So where's his E? So he ends up Eing... So he goes E, then Q. But like if he'd Q'd here and hit these two back, there's a chance, you know, there's a chance. Because a lot of stuff was just thrown onto Junja. That was bad by Maple. That's really bad by Maple. No flashes. Exactly. Yeah, I think Maple could carry that fight. I guess there's maybe an issue with the fact that he's only level 15. If he had level 16, it would be a wider ult, which means it's easier to catch people with like just easier to catch people with your ult because it's longer range. Man, yeah, Maple whiffs that last play really badly actually. That sucks. That sucks. That sucks. I think they could actually win that team fight. Maple had a way into the backline. Because while this is happening, let's go back. While this is happening, you know, you have... Yeah, you know, you have a lot of stuff being thrown into Junja. Like, a lot. Almost wonder if it's worth Woody walking through the tidal wave to get some slows down, but I guess it's not that valuable. But if he walks through the tidal wave and just, like, starts getting a couple of auto attacks onto the people who get shuffled in, maybe that would help. I think Masu could have also pressed W. Not Masu. Where does Aja use his W? Does he use his W? He uses E there. Because I think Aja could walk up. Yeah, because if Maple gets the shuffle and Aja presses W through the tidal wave, or even if he just stands, even if he just walks forwards and gets knocked up slightly further. Wait, what does the cleanse on Masu happen? Ah, there's an Ash Hour onto him. Yeah, that would have been insane if they'd managed to hit him with a combo. Yeah, I think that Maple flubbing that doesn't help. I think that Aja also could have walked up closer and just pressed W, because everything's already hitting Junja, right? So. Oh, that's the end of that game. Okay, I am going to power through into game 3. I'm not going to take a break this time. I'm just going to go straight for it. And see how this series finishes. Okay. Let's get the camera back in the right place. Okay, game 3 draft. So, very similar bans, except this time Flyquest ban away the Talia from blue side. Because first pick Talia could have been a potential for Maple. Ban away the Lucian this time. So you have Callista, you have Varus, you have Senna. In terms of bot lane power picks. So you lock in that. I mean, is Massey just going to go back towards the... I mean, you can just go Varus, right? Varus is okay into the Callista. You can also lock in Nautilus if you want to. You can go towards the center Nautilus if you wanted it. That could be okay. And it's Orianna. Okay, so now you have some issues here where if you want to play on-hit Callista, sucks into Orianna because you have to play around Shockwave. Shockwave, it's very hard to dance around an Orianna with when you've got Shockwave in the back pocket. And Varus answers on-hit Callista very well in laning phase too. Because if you go towards Hail of Blades and then you go towards like Q... Well, actually even on-hit Callista maxes Q in laning phase. You go 3 points, that's fine. But Varus is good into Callista in laning phase. So you're not going to get huge value out of that. And it's very hard to play on-hit Callista into the Orianna. So now if you lock a front line in on anywhere here, so if you end up with like a Sejuani or an Ornn or whatever, it's very hard for Aja to kind of like cut through them as poke Varus. So you go poke Varus to deal better into the backline, you go on-hit Varus to deal better into the front line. When you go for the Karma, you must now go for DPS onto the Callista, which is a problem, because how do you play DPS Callista, on-hit Callista, when you're doing into a Shockwave? This pick here, this Karma, is absolute draft suicide. This is draft suicide. Because now the problem is, the only DPS top lane you'd have is a Rumble, so you can blind pick something for Bwipo which is good into the Rumble, and just assume that even if you get another matchup, it won't flip the matchup too much. And you're not going to... I mean, Junja would then have to go for, what, Kindred in jungle? Something like that. And even Kindred's not great. All of the AD carry junglers are really not great in terms of DPS into the backline either. I think that Varus and Orianna are very good into those kind of picks. Maybe you could go for a Brand. Brand also sucks into Orianna because just the Shockwave just slaughters you. So what do you do from jungle, right? So, God, they even go for the Shinzao. It's like you know you have to go for a DPS top laner now, otherwise the draft is over. Nautilus is fine. Again, just another pick which holds Callista to account. And I'll also say this as well. Betty in LPL was not good as a primary carry. He was okay as a secondary carry, but not really a primary carry. Ban away the Urgot. You could ban away the Rumble here as Flyquest as well and just say, look, we don't want to play against DPS top laner. I think that's what I'd do, actually. Yeah. Renata stops the Callista having, like, good laning phase and being able to maybe outplay the Shockwave with Bailout. Like, you lose all your HP and just try and reset. Or win so through hard through laning phase, it doesn't matter. And then the Rumble in terms of the DPS. You look in a strong front line now, you're looking for Sejuani, maybe Cassante or Ornn after. Cassante lock in for PSG, which means that they don't have any extra DPS top laners. What laning phase can you go towards that's actually good? So you need some kind of engage now as well, though, is the problem. Yeah, this is rough for PSG. They lock in Rel, I think that's not great in terms of... it's okay in terms of laning phase, it's okay in terms of team fight, in terms of reaching the backline, but it's not awesome. And then you lock in Olaf, who doesn't even care about the Rel. So now you have, like, everything is about running at the Callista. Olaf can do that with just the Rel. So this is a really good draft from Flyquest in terms of denying the Callista first pick in some ways. But then also a really bad draft from PSG, putting Maple onto a non-interactive champion again. I think that the Azir was okay, but I think that Karma is absolutely awful in terms of, like, trying to influence the game. We'll do that again. Okay, let's get into it. Because already, this game to me is very hard from draft. Betty needs, like, you need to just, like, force Flyquest to never have tools available or, like, to group ineffectively to stop, like, them denying Betty his team fights. And that's already going to be very difficult. Bwipo walks in, stops them from getting any level 1 shenanigans. Bot lane laning phase isn't going very well. There is one ward onto Raptors, so at least they get some vision on how Inspired is playing. But I mean, I think Flyquest are completely fine just stopping PSG exploding in the early game. They're the ones which win late game. They win mid and late game. So, yeah. And also Orianna wins against Karma and individually too a lot of the time too. Like, Orianna's a very good mage versus mage champion. Very, very good. Also, Massey's gone for on hit so he can kill a front line, whereas Yeah, he hasn't gone for the poke. So he can just say, I'm going to kill the front line as well. So even if you play front line, Varus Oriana will absolutely kill the front line before the Sidwani dies. Okay. Didn't even need to blow the Ignite onto Woody, it's just a good hook. Inspired reads level 3 bot side because they had vision on where Jundra was starting. He has to go top to bot. Flyquest lane is in a really good spot too. So it's not like he could like wrap around them easily. They spot him on bot scuttle. Really, really good of it. That's just really good vision control from Flyquest. They spot him out early with Bwipo's invade, put down a good ward defensively on bot side, comboed up for first blood, and a lot of this is just really good early jungle vision. Really well played from Flyquest on that front. It's been a good draft from them. It's been a good early game. All of their early games have been good, actually. I think they've been better than PSG a lot in their early games. Need to be careful of the lethal tempo being fully stacked. Double burst on Masu as well. And now suddenly you've lost, you know, you've got 2 kills onto Masu early as well now, which is horrifying. Now Masu's 2 kills early means that Callista can't just brutalize laning phase and just play for like the 1 kill which she has. They get a kill into Bwipo, sure. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter realistically. You need to make sure, in this game, you need to make sure that, like, it's in mid-game, we need to see if PSG can force away some like, abilities from Flyquest to see if they can stop them having a shockwave at a key moment, or stop them from having, like, a 5-man group around this Varus. It's going to be very hard to do that. Very, very hard. Because if you're forcing plays like that, it means that you're often out of position. It means that Jundra or Woody are probably putting their life in harm's way to do that. Stream died. Hook lands. But like, look how much damage Varus is doing in early game. Has the early Tabby as well. Steel caps. I'm always going to call him Tabby. Because Varus's base damage on his W can often just do enough to make the most of it. So you can go defensive boots. It's also why top lane Varus is so disgustingly strong. Ask Kerberos about that. If you get your blight stacks popped, it's very, very nasty. Defensive boots are completely fine on hit if you're in the right kind of game. Good dodge by Maple. A lot of this is just not important though. So PSG do have 3 grubs, but it's for an early dragon on the side of Flyquest. They took an early dragon away from a Callista again. That's normally a very good sign. This game as well, PSG with grubs don't have the easiest time hitting towers. And it's very hard to kind of like dive in Olaf. He can always clear waves with his axes. So using those grubs there is going to be hard. Oriana's a very good wave clear machine. You're not going to be able to walk up to the Varus. So PSG won't be able to hit towers unless they win a fight. And they go to towers after that. They won't be able to passively use it through split push. Like they can do with Azir. Meow meow damage, yes. Yeah, Varus is very, very nasty. One of the strongest champions in the game if you get the most out of him. Like, I think Varus, like, if you're not getting every auto down, it can kind of be meh. Which is why some Western teams, when they play Varus, kind of struggle with it, because they struggle to get the extra auto or position right. But I think when you've got the best players in the world of Varus, and I think Masu's actually done a good job on the Varus hit too. It's looks very, very strong. Flyquest just keeping up defensive vision. Finally get Maple. Wait, could Maple have flashed that? Oh shit. Oops. Okay, what happens here? So he gets comboed. Right here, can you just flash over the wall and get out? Yeah, you can just flash over it. Maple. Maple can literally just flash here and get out. So he gets the root. You've done all you need to. You did not need to stay for that Q. That's super greedy by Maple. Yeah, Maple should just blow a flash there. It'd be an ult, 2 ults for a flash, which is actually fine. Very, very greedy from Maple. You actually survived the double ults. You could have just flashed that last combo. Yeah, Varus is what, 575 range, is he? Or is he 625? I can't remember. I think he's 575. Either way, it's slightly longer than other AD carries, which is enough to get you that extra auto attack while they're stepping backwards. And also his E allows him to slow people into his effective range too. Which means that if you're both stepping up for autos, you get your auto just about first. And if they try and step back from you, you often can get like an extra auto while they're stepping backwards out of their own range. Okay, dragons up. Okay. Now we got ourselves dragon fights. So we got grubs taken. Maple didn't blow his flash, so at least he has it for now. Does he have malignance for this fight? No, he won't. First items aren't completed for most of these guys anyway. Okay. Good vision control. Very good vision control by Flyquest. Problem is, like, going through here, just this is just really awkward, because if you find yourself in this kind of choke here, I think at this point in the game, Orianna is still very threatening. Even though it's not like a one-shot, it's enough to, like, allow Masu some really good, like, points to go in here. Okay, Junja gets onto Masu, but he can't get there quick enough. Okay, so hook onto Woody, that's something. What does Busio do with his ult? Hits Junja with it, so Junja doesn't get to use his ult before Masu's taken down most of his HP bar. Lethal tempo's put up. Okay, Betty's doing some things. He jumps into... Betty jumps into the hail of arrows by Varus as well, so he slows his own attack speed. So right here, he actually slows his own attack speed. Okay. Really good teleports. Junja pulls his ult just a little too late. I think it's hard to react when you're melee range of the Nautilus, which is the problem there, right? But he just takes so much damage, man. So Maple teleports in. The thing is that Maple's like not... Jensen's not going to get one shot by a Karma, right? He should have saved his ult Q for elsewhere, I think. Woody doesn't quite time out the Ragnarok. And Aja ults on the tower. Yeah, that's not it, Aja. Aja gets that. Yeah. Aja misjudges that. I mean, maybe you would have been okay with a 1-for-1. I think Aja's had a really poor time determining his backline impact in this game. I think he's been quite unsure about how to play out these team fights. Now Jensen can teleport back. He might even get his first item now. It's around this kind of timing. I mean, really well played by Masu here. Masu plays this really well. Managed to get some... He knows it's safe to walk up there. Gets his full lethal tempo stacked. Never really under threat. Blows a cleanse, but that's it. Shockwave's still there at the end of it. And Flyquest at the end of this still get another dragon. So that's really good for them. Flyquest dragon setups have been far better than PSG's. Far, far better. And I've typically not liked Flyquest in their objective setups. This is good for them. I think their lane assignment's been good. I think that they've been... yeah, they've been team fighting largely pretty well. Game 1 was a bit different, right? I think that PSG with these zoning controls were very, very good there. Maple doesn't flash another shockwave. Definitely haven't seen that before. I mean, if you just flash the shockwave here, you get out for free. Like, even if you get hit by a Sejuani ult as he comes down the lane, I'm pretty sure you live. That's super greedy from Maple. Maple just completely tilts off the face of the planet in this game 3. Which is such a shame, because he's such an important player for PSG. If he's playing well, they are, yeah. Okay, I was looking at a message in the family group chat. Okay, so Flyquest have some defense. Flyquest have defensive vision. They're very happy with how this is going. Very happy with how this is going. You know, Betty is just not going to be able to play the game against such a fed Orianna. And the Varus will make sure the front line can't play as well. You know, the Varus did his job in terms of, like, making sure that Calista didn't have a laning phase. And then after that, it's on to, like, Jensen to have a really good game to make sure that he can't have team fights either. Maple dies again in a side lane, which is really poor. And, you know, even with 6 grubs, they can't take in a turret like that, because they just don't have the tower damage. Should be able to get Jensen in return at least. I mean, Jensen shouldn't flash here at least, so it's whatever. Ups his DPS numbers by 30 shockwave onto 2 people. Yay. But Jensen just keeps his flash and his teleport still up, so he's completely fine. PSG have to commit 2-3 members down there, which means Bwipo gets an out of turret. At least Aja finally gets to take something back with Demolish and a 6 rubs. At least he got bot tower and pulled 3 bots. They got mid tower. Yeah, I mean, Jensen is okay with that. It's not the best trade. He would have preferred to live, but I guess not give the shutdown. But I mean, he died in a timing where he can get towards Dragon. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Get some gold over, which is kind of meh, but whatever, right? Aja does have 2 items now from getting that kill and also the bot lane out of turret himself, though. They're trying to play through mid-prio again. Group up, death ball how they can. You're going to be using Aja plus Karma Shields to try and bully your way into River. Just say he's tanky, he'll have shields, that's fine. Like, they can play around that. So this is all on how Aja can buy space for the rest of his team now. Because he's the only member that can maybe do that. Okay, hook misses. That would have been a great hook. That was very close, actually. Almost threaded the needle. Karma's getting some poke with Malignance. Betty's forcing the wave in. Trying to see if he can get some free alters on Bwipo. He can't. PSG are really, this series, playing heavily through mid just to see if they can brute force their way into River and get themselves a team fight. BC still got Flash, still has ult. So what's happening here? So Inspired has a fantastic angle. He's off vision and he has like two key targets to hit. You can hit either of them. Might even be more valuable to hit Maple because he doesn't have the cleanse. But I think you're probably looking at Betty, right? If you force the cleanse out of Betty early, then Bwipo gets to... He doesn't quite have Ghost. It's coming up right now. But he'll have Ragnarok anyway. Oh my god. PSG have completely corralled themselves into an awful situation. Yeah. You hit Maple here because Maple has no flash. Shockwave hits them as well. What's happening with Betty here? So Betty is walking up. He walks onto the dragon, tries to get some rend stacks, but he's not hitting targets. Bucio, that's a... Wait, what does he flash? Does he flash a Varasol? No, he doesn't flash a Varasol. What does Betty flash? Why does he flash like that? Surely the flash would have been way better to go straight onto Masu, right? Yeesh. Because if he has flash now, maybe you can follow Masu for a couple more autos. I think Betty plays the team. Betty's had some pretty poor team fights. Game 2 and 3, his team fights have been really poor. So what's happening here on the backline? Because the carries just, like, immediately die. Aja does get an ult out onto Jensen. Does he just do Cassante things to Jensen? Ooh, close. Not quite. Blast cleanse him away. Jensen spots Aja a little too late. Oh, that's a good re-entry by Aja. Yamato did a good breakdown of this fight with Bwipo's actions pre-fight. Yeah, I mean, he does well of, like, kind of creating an extra angle to me. But for me, it's also Inspired and Bwipo doing that together. Because, like, right here, he's kind of, like, cutting off... Because, let's think about it, right? If Bwipo kind of, like, controls this area, if he's, like, somewhere in this area... That's this... You can't retreat into him. Not with Ragnarok. You can't retreat into him. But you also can't retreat into Shockwave. And it's just like a 3-pincer, right? Inspired holds a great angle here. And particularly with Maple not having flash, they can't reposition. PSG, honestly, would prefer to be fighting through bot lane if they could, you know? If they could... Bot side. If they could play through here, it's a lot easier. It's much harder for them to brute force through mid. I think they chose the wrong lane to push through. I think they should have tried to go down through here. Play through this area instead. I think you can't afford to give Bwipo the flank. This is a big mistake by them. Because, like, you've just given Bwipo a free angle. I don't even think this is on... Oh, with Jensen. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Bwipo does that much. This is a huge fight, though. This is the fight which wins the game realistically. Not that PSG were in a good position to win it anyway, because Betty's in an awkward spot. But like, look at the ball here. Like, how do you fight into the Shockwave like this? You know, Jensen's in a really good spot. Betty's not threatening him. You know, Betty and Masu are spaced, so not both. You can't have both of them get caught. Jensen again making sure that he's not within auto range or flash auto range of Betty. Betty has a really poor flash though. Good blast cone there. That's a nice blast cone. Yeah, he has really high value. His team fight spacing is really good here. Flyquest was able to swap Jensen and Bwipo before the flight. Jensen was originally in the turret. Yeah, for sure. That helps. But, like, realistically, Bwipo is always wanting to be on that angle, and Jensen always wanted to be with the team. And also, PSG couldn't force the dragon easily either, so that they had time to do that. Yeah, Maple's had an awful game as well. I think PSG as a team, this is not the area to fight. This area is not the area to fight. I think you would have preferred to fight down here. You just can't give Bwipo that free flank, man. Jensen's had a stunning game on the Oriana, though. Really, really good from him. I think Massey's also had really good teamfight positioning on the Varus. That last play where he died against Aja, you know, that's more on Aja kind of re-entering the fight well for me. Good pick onto Betty, no flash. No flash, no cleanse. Dodge. And that should be the game now. Realistically. Surely they can't throw it Baron again. Okay, lose mid lane out of turret, but that's okay. 6 grubs means that they do take turrets very quickly. Junja no flash with no backup. That is very poor from... Why is he recalling there? You have a pink ward. You don't need to recall there for any good reason, man. He's lucky to get out of that, actually. Blows his ult. And now with Baron buff and just like perma push everywhere and good vision control, very hard for PSG to fight back. Not that they had a good chance anyway. Callista's just way too far behind at this point too. Or rather like... I say that, it's only 1,000 gold individually, but like Callista cannot kill this front line. You can't kill that front line. They just run you down. If you get hit by one Olaf axe, you have to cleanse immediately. But the chances are you're going to have to cleanse a Callista, something like a Sejuani ult instead. So, a minute till Dragon. That'll be Soul. Once again, PSG just bum rush down mid because they don't know what else to do. They don't have that many options. They have to play through one lane, right? I guess it's easier for them to just retreat through one side of the lane. Okay. Bwipo is just hitting everyone. That's a really bad Callista ult. In terms of, like, the re-entry of it. Again, just Flyquest keeping them at one direction. Junja has his ult, but like he doesn't have flash, he needs half HP. Really good shockwave after like catching Woody out. Masu doesn't get caught by the engage. Really well played from him. I actually like that flash forward into Betty as well. It means that he has no way into the fight. The only way you can play through this fight is Betty finding the pocket where someone stood in front of him and he can just about whittle them down. But he can't do that with Masu flying forwards. That's fine. I like that. Maple gets out. Junja doesn't. That's Dragon for free. Is that double inhib, actually? No, they have Maple. Maple will wave clear one lane. I was wondering if they'd group for inhibs and then go back towards Dragon. But I guess Soul is nice. I got soul, but I'm not a soldier. Got soul, but I'm not a soldier. Yeah, I think Woody chooses a really bad place to reinitiate as the Rel coming out of the Callista roll. But even then, if you go straight onto the Varus, chances are it just flashes over the wall and kills you anyway, so, you know, good luck. Okay, so PSG, again, just trying to, for all their life's worth, trying to just control mid, get some pockets of vision, and then just, like, be able to find a front-to-back team fight. I just don't think they can front-to-back, man. You're also, at the, you know, because you have Terminus and Rageblade on Massey now, it's very easy for him to get very tanky very quickly in fights, which means that you can't even get, like, a miracle Karma Q onto him. And even if that does happen, you know, you have Jensen to worry about. If you're in position to get a Karma Q onto Massey, chances are you're going to get shockwaved by Jensen in return. I think at this point in the game too, because you're so far ahead as the Varus compared to the Callista, I think that Jensen can actually just ult other people rather than the Callista too. You can threaten it for a little bit of the fight, but if you manage to catch Karma, that's fine. Even if you catch just the Rel, I think it's okay. That's a lot of your backline access gone at that point. Okay. This is a little bit more... Maple and Betty are stood on top of each other. That's really bad. You should never get both of them knocked up by that ult there. I think Maple and Betty, their spacing is very poor. Ooh. Actually, Woody manages to stop Inspire jumping forwards very well. Betty briefly has a moment to attack, but Massey's just outputting so much more DPS. And as soon as you kill a champion as Massey, if you last hit it, your attack speed is so ridiculous as Varus with the passive. You get like 60% attack speed for it. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Let's go back into them. How does this stop? Once again, PSG playing through mid lane. They just want to shove mid, get an engage off of that. Bwipo's back on good timing. Ult onto Woody stops him from breaking up the combo. Hex Soul is slowing everyone down. Varus ult into the choke point is annoying as fuck. Massey gets to stack up everything, gets his passive ticking. Yeah. I mean, Betty actually finds about as good an angle as he can, but like, you just don't win AD carry versus AD carry here. Especially after Lethal Tempo and your passive ticking and Rage Blade too. Betty only gets Rage Blade now. He didn't have Rage Blade before this fight. Nice stuff. Is that game? Oh, this goes towards Elder, doesn't it? Yeah. So now PSG again, what are PSG going to do? They're going to go probably into mid lane and then try and force through mid lane into one of these objectives. Except they have to do that against Baron buff now. God damn, they have no plays left to them. What do they do? It's a Hail Mary fight at the Baron, that's it. And I hope that maybe Aja can take Jensen out of the fight. I don't know, man. Hoping for Cassante things. Can they survive? They're going to lose inhib, presumably. How many inhibs are they losing? 2? Yeah, I guess. Oops, let's not speed that far forward. Like, I mean, the reason I'm speeding through so much of this game is that things don't change in regards to it is very hard for Betty to team fight, and they don't have damage without Betty, realistically. Woody's on a flank, they have Hex Gates, I was just trying to get himself a flank, but he can't really do much more than that. Might be able to ult himself backwards. They get himself Ragnarok, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's a wasted Ragnarok, actually. No, that's right before Dragon. Bwipo doesn't even... I mean, Aja can teleport back. That's a very low value Ragnarok. That's something. I mean, we did say that PSG, one of the ways they can work for things is to try and make sure that some tools are down for Flyquest. That one they got for free. I mean, both top laners are going to teleport back in, I presume. Oh no, Bwipo teleport into the base. Now is Maple going to teleport back as well? You have no Ragnarok, so you can't go unstoppable under the turret. No, Maple just recalled normally, so he can teleport back into the play. That's the right call. All out for an extra bit of CC. Does he get one less hit on the tower? He does. So Bwipo dies. Okay, good Q3. Now what's happening here? Because we didn't see the start of this fight. So we see Masu fire an ult. Who does it hit? It hits Rel. No, it hits Ginger rather. As Dragon's going down. Sejuani ult misses as well. Ginger has flash. Chance of a flash steal. So this is what's happening. How quickly does it take them to teleport back to the fight? They should be teleporting immediately. They should be teleporting right now. Now. How quickly are they teleporting? Should be now. Right now. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 3-4 seconds late. In an Elder fight, that's unacceptable, actually. It's actually unacceptable. Maybe they wanted to teleport in with, like, Mantra being ready, but I don't think you have that, you don't have that kind of degree of margin of error in this fight. Betty has flash and he has cleanse. He should not get rooted by Busio. He should not have to get rooted by Busio there. He should be... If these teleports are earlier, they actually win this. Oh my god, they actually win this Elder fight, folks, if they get on top of that. Because Betty should not be getting rooted there. What should happen is Maple should already be here, firing a Q through here. Or, like, Aja should be ghosting and then W on top of him to extend the CC combo. Because Masu has cleanse and he has flash. Like, this should not... Realistically, Maple should have been here a lot earlier. As should Aja. Bwipo wasting Ragnarok and then making that stupid play in the base actually should have lost them the game. That should have lost them the game, folks. But the problem is that Aja and Maple just don't teleport soon enough. You should immediately teleport. You know, you see where Jensen is. There's no way he's teleporting into the base to end the game. That's a bad mistake. That's a bad mistake by Maple and Aja. They should win that. They should actually win that. I don't think it ends the game. How many towers they got down? No, it doesn't end the game because all of their waves are in shit spots. But it gets them Elder and it should extend the game. Unironically, Flyquest should lose at this Elder Dragon. If Maple and Aja are a little quicker on the teleport triggers. Again, you know, great play by Jensen to clean that up and for Flyquest to outplay the flight after that point. Let's just look at, again, how much time there is between these, between the death and then everything else hit. Now, Bwipo survives longer than he should have done, probably. I think Bwipo underestimates the fact that Aja and Maple both have teleports and can both recall in time. Because if they take in the Elder as he's dying here, if it's down now, it's fine. But even then, they'd be flipping. So, okay, we're at 31:43. 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 4 seconds late. It's 4 seconds late, realistically. Woody has flash. He can engage her here at any time. Even if it's 2 seconds earlier. Wait, how... So he turns up now. Let's have a look. Now. As he's teleported, the CC's 1 off. If he's 3 seconds earlier, he gets the TP buff, movement speed, he gets Ghost. He gets in here with 3 seconds. That's really sad. That's really sad for PSG. They realistically should have won this. And that ends the game. I mean, Flyquest made a big mistake. Well, Bwipo made a big mistake in the base there. He should have... Yes, he does get, you know, the inhib tower, but that should have lost them the game. The fact that he used his Ragnarok beforehand and then teleports into the base to do that, that's 2 bad mistakes by Bwipo in a row. Bwipo had a good series, but that game 3 was not good. He should have lost them that game. He should have lost them that game. Okay then. That'll do it for VOD reviews for today, folks. Thanks for joining me. And I'm not going to do the T1 series today. I'm just too tired. I live viewed the MSI earlier today, and then whatever. Maybe tomorrow I won't live view, and then I'll just do VOD reviews after. That might just work better. We'll see. Depends what you guys want. But I mean, I'll be watching the games anyway, so I guess it's not too much of an issue. But anyway, thanks for watching, folks, and guess I'll quickly find someone to send you over to.